Anjay recently.
Okay, you know what? This is true.
What?
Who the fuck am I?
What's happening? What?
I said you're Kinzo.
Nobody should ever wish that on somebody else. What the hell are you talking about?
Wait, hold on. You said it's a chap or me? Hold on, I'm confused.
You. I don't know. It was. I think. What did I say?
What did Shadow do to you?
No, I'm trying to think of what I said. Because I said in a Twitch chat, I said Shadow can be this character. And Chop was like, no, that's a bad character. Why are you assigning that to Shadow? And I was like, you know what? You're so right. Shadow can play Kinzo. And Chop was like, that's even worse. But now I can't remember the first character that I picked for.
It was something like hold on. I remember the conversation. I don't remember if it was about Shadow though. Wait, what was it?
Well, it would have been funny if it wasn't.
Where was this? Was this in book club or spoiler zone chat?
No, it was one that we had in Twitch, I thought.
Oh, I don't remember.
Where
then.
I was in the Twitch chat and you
Wait,
were
what game
engaging
was
with
this?
the TTS.
What
I
were we doing that
don't
night?
remember.
You're supposed to remember.
Chess, maybe?
Was it during chess? Oh, was it when the 9-year-old came into my stream?
Maybe?
It was
I think
Shadow.
that
Shadow was the
for
9-year-old.
For the first one, also, I'd said a girl, because I thought that it would be really funny if Shadow played a girl with his deep voice. And then I switched it to Kinzo.
Voice?
I mean, it's on the deep end.
I got...
Deeper than mine.
Okay,
Who
we
did
gotta
I set originally?
we gotta put Andy on the screen. Let's see here.
I get to be on the screen.
Yes, you do. You are the one.
Me. I am the one.
There you are. Speak.
Hello.
Your wing is cut off. I have to fix that.
A true one-wing.
No, hold on. Just craft the one of the rings entirely. Hold on, this is way funnier.
No, don't take Davina's wings.
No, just one of them. Just one of them. It'll be funny.
Sorry, just watched you widen Davina drastically. That was really funny.
Happens. Okay.
Oh, yes, I figured out why the hell I was so exhausted Thursday.
Why?
I'm sick.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll
Whoops.
do it.
You should fix that.
I'm trying here. Okay, I'm currently like Ava from episode 3.
Have you gotten your flu vaccine?
What flu vaccine? They got the flu vaccine 3? There's a third one?
You're supposed to get the flu vaccine every year, Shadow! That's a yearly thing!
This is true.
Hold on.
Wait,
Just
what do you
like how
mean,
you're-
hold on?
That's just like how you're supposed to go to the dentist for a tooth cleaning every year. And you're supposed to
Shadow.
go...
So Shadow, there are some vaccines that you get just like once, maybe twice in your life. You're not wrong in thinking that. But there are some, yeah, like,
Hold on.
sure. But then there are some, like the flu shots, where because the variant of the disease changes every year, the vaccine is only meant to last as protection against the previous strains. So whenever there's a new strain, which is pretty much every year because it's not eradicated, you have to get a new vaccine for it. And that has increased chances of fighting against whatever the current strain is. So they recommend that you get a flu shot every year.
And I think they're
Okay,
doing that with COVID too.
As it turns
now.
out,
Yes, COVID too as well now.
I skipped on the flu shot for like the past 6 years. Whoops.
Oh my god.
At least. It could be worse, honestly.
Shadow, it's okay. I don't know how it is in Canada, but you can probably get it a shot for free. I mean, if you can do it in America, you could probably do it in most countries.
do it like anywhere else.
If you can get one free in America, you can get it anywhere else in the world.
We have free healthcare, allegedly.
I wouldn't trust
You
the
most
people on
likely.
my campus too, but I'm pretty sure that I could walk to like the campus health center during my workday and just be like, "Hey, can I get a flu shot?" And they'll be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, like it. So what Andy is talking about is that there's actually because colleges are a educational thing and they have people in training. A lot of them will offer free or reduced price services for various things, and one of those things is like flu shots. So like if you're on campus, you can probably get a flu vaccine right there on campus by one of the trainees. Now it might sting more because they're in training, but it's there on campus for free. But
That is also where I got one of my COVID boosters. Actually, the only COVID booster that I ever got was at the. Don't worry about it.
No, that's even worse. You need to get your boosters.
I'm not allowed to get boosters. I'm not allowed to get boosters. I'm the only one that's not allowed to get boosters.
I know, yeah, everyone except for Chap should get their boosters.
Because I think I did the 2 rounds and then the booster before I went to Alaska, and then I haven't gotten vaccines.
So just like the flu vaccine, the COVID boosters are...
I think part of the reason that I stopped doing the flu vaccine was because the 1 year that my family did do flu vaccines, we all got the flu.
That was always my brother's, not conspiracy, but like superstition. But the problem is that he is a teacher, so he's constantly around little sick, germy people.
Little sick, yeah. That'll do it.
So it's like, my dude, you're gonna get the flu anyway. Like, unless you're washing your hands or using Germ-X every 30 minutes, you're screwed.
Yeah. Gotta do it in between classes. You know how it is.
All right. So whatever the point is, if I keep going.
No, go on.
No, go on, Ari.
No, I was just gonna make a joke. Like, really, you should just have Germ-X on your desk.
Yeah.
But yes, please get because I mean we can even get COVID boosters here for free. So I assume most first and second world countries can get them free.
So unfortunately, this is Canada. It's like a 12th world country. We're not doing too good here.
No, you're not. So I'm sure. Shadow,
Ari, we got
sure
Frenchies here. What are you talking about?
I'm sure you can get them for free. Just
look
real
quick.
Maybe on campus.
Real quick, I am doing an audio test of the volume audio. 1, 2, 3. Somebody else talk as well. Somebody say something at the same time as me saying something, so I can judge the levels of our voices. Thank you very much.
Okay, well,
all right, shut the fuck up. Shut.
Hold on.
It's technically politically incorrect to say first, second, and third world countries. You should be saying it by stages
I need to turn up you guys a little bit. There we go.
I'm sorry. The stages of development are actually quite interesting. You should look at how the stages of development correspond to population pyramids. We haven't quite gotten to the point where population pyramids have become cyclical, but we are rapidly approaching that point, and I think that it's fascinating.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, if you can get it free in America, you can probably get it free everywhere.
The biggest thing that because I was talking with Cass about the fact that we need COVID booster shots, and they were like, because of school, we cannot afford to spend a weekend being sick.
It's not that bad. It's like a day max, and that's only for some people. Like I need a day off, but it's not so bad that I'm like in bed. It's just like it's not that bad. You'll be fine. Except for Chap, he'll die.
I'll die. Yeah, this is true.
Why will he die again? Hold on, I'm confused.
Is Chap immunocompromised? Are you?
No. What happened? And you and Ari both were getting messages from me as this was happening. When I got my COVID vaccine, the first one went fine. The second one that you had to get, that gave me the very rare side effect that was happening in young males at around my age at the time, called myocarditis, in which you have an inflammation of the heart muscle as a result of the vaccine.
His heart said no.
Yeah, listen. I tried, and again, I felt the chest pains that morning, and then I was like, oh, that's a concern. So we went to go get it checked out. By the time I got there, it was calmed down, so they couldn't see shit. But they still took some blood, and then they called me later as I was chilling at home, eating some ramen noodles, hanging out. Everything was fine. They were like, yeah, so you might have a problem with your heart. You got to come in here. I'm like, what?
I do remember you going like, yeah, I was just called. I have to go into the hospital.
I was like, everything.
Oh my God.
I was like, are you sure everything feels fine? They're like, no, you have to go in now. You got to go to the big hospital in the middle of actual Boston. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I go there and I'm sitting there like all the way into the night because, this is like during the peak of COVID. So like the whole place is filled up with shit. And it's just like they're trying to do these other tests on me to figure out like, oh, did he catch COVID in between getting his vaccine? Did he do this? Is this happening? Does he have this problem with like his weight or whatever? And they do all these tests and they don't find any fucking problems with anything like that. So they're just like, all right, well, we can see that you had a heart muscle inflammation thing. So maybe it was a side effect of the vaccine. We're not sure. And then later on, they found out that there were other rare cases of men my age who were getting the vaccine and then also having that as a reaction to it.
That's so weird.
They still believe that it was better for me to get the vaccine rather than getting COVID, though, because if I had gotten COVID, I would have had that, but worse. Like, it probably would have actually killed you if you got that and you had COVID. So, it's not great having that, but I didn't die, and you were statistically not likely to die if it happened to you from the vaccine. So that's how it was explained to me, at least. But I was told that I should not get any of the boosters for that, so I don't. But I still get the flu one every year. So
yeah.
So what you're telling me is that whenever Chef says "never forget the heart," it's even funnier now.
it's true. That's true. This is true. This is true. I forgot the heart. I didn't realize.
This is very topically relevant.
Wait, okay, I'm so sorry. Where did this week's reading start?
This week's
Volume
readings.
4.
Okay, well that doesn't help Andy try to figure. Andy just read all 6 volumes to catch up with us, so Andy needs to know where we started here. The Halloween party ended, and Anjay was about to go and find out where the Book of the One Truth was, because they were told about the concept of the Book of the One Truth, but they didn't know where it was. So they were trying to find it. So that was where the week started. Trying to find the Book of the One Truth. You got it now? You orientated?
Yes.
So the point is, what I'm trying to say is, if it sounds like I'm dying, I am dying. I'm Ava at Droid Part 3. And my question, who the fuck is Hideyoshi in this equation?
Okay, actually, since we're going back and we're talking about being sick, can I point out how we just glossed over the fact that Jessica lied about having asthma?
I was wondering if anyone would bring that up.
We never mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
I've been thinking about it so much because I'm like, because I'm brainstorming for my fic, right? And I'm like, oh, like what if I had Jessica have asthma, which she doesn't have.
But I like specifically though that she kind of does, like she has coughing fits now because she faked it for so long. That now, and like that's a real thing that you can do to yourself. Like if you can just condition yourself on accident, basically.
We never went over that. I'm pretty sure that happened like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, it was in episode 7 when Will was talking to her.
Everything was just getting dumped on us with all the other stuff that we were talking about and everything, man. But there's things to talk about. There's things to talk about. We're getting.
There's a lot.
What you're telling me is that Jessica did it to get with Canon? Was this like some 5D chess?
The way she explained it is that she did it to make herself seem more like a kind of like a fair maiden that's like always coughing, and she needs people to take care of her and to dote on her.
She's trying to be like a Sumu, trying to attract Rudolph, basically.
Literally.
I'll just act vulnerable and then he'll protect me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how she wanted Canon to view her.
All right. Is there any other pre-show memes before we officially get started here?
Give me 30 seconds. I need to go get milk for my Oreos.
All right. In that case, I'll be right back as well.
Well, Ari, just me and you yet again.
Yippee!
This is a good thing?
I guess. How you been, Shadow?
I told you, I'm dying.
I mean, aside from that,
Have
you played a more Spirit Caller?
I finished months ago.
Oh, good. Well, I didn't know, because you were saying that the last card was so hard to get.
Yeah, because it wasn't in the code of the game.
Oh, so you gave up. You're a coward.
No, I got it.
Oh, how'd you get it? If it's
Okay,
not
so
in the
it's a
coded game.
where you gotta play like a different Yu-Gi-Oh game that came out like 9 months later, and then transfer that over to there. And it's like transfer over.
Oh, it's the Pokemon thing.
All right, I'm back. What's going on?
Took 346 hours total.
Shadow has explained to me how he got the last card in Spirit Color. You know what I mean by the Pokemon thing, right?
What
Yeah,
Pokemon
but like
thing?
I don't think they do it like that. Where it seems like a future game to
Yeah.
get one of which game?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
But
I was just saying, I came back in the middle of that, so I have no clue.
no, we
What
were
the-
just
what-
talking about Spirit
I don't know.
Color.
I don't know what the Pokemon thing refers to. Is what I mean.
It's
You have
like-
like favorite Pokemon, but like in my
Yeah.
case, you had trade from a future game into a previous game, which is like really weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Okay.
like, if you want to complete the Pokedex, you have to have both versions of the game to swap Pokemon between them.
Okay.
But
Okay.
in his case, it was a future game, which is interesting.
Okay.
And the guy isn't even good. It's Mash Chopper. He's got 100 attack and defense.
Who's messaging me and why?
It's an Earth Fiend.
All right. I've moved our sprites slightly on the screen, but we should be good. We were blocking Sayo too much,
No!
but
You
now
can't
we're
do
not.
that.
Now we're not.
At the climb at least 50
She's
states.
already so hidden.
All right. Are we ready to go, gamers?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay. Ready? Hold on. Where's my thing? Where's my button? Right here. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, all at the same time on Thursday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. As usual, we are back again talking about Umineko, When They Cry, the manga. We are on episode 8, volumes 4 to 6, Twilight of the Golden Witch, with our Umineko PNG tubers back once again. But before we get into our discussions, let's introduce the cast for this week in order of how the sprites appear on the stream, because I couldn't be asked to arrange them alphabetically for how we appear in the chat. Starting with me, I am Battlerborg, aka Chaplain, aka Wolfborg, aka the best Anime Book Club host ever of all time in the world. That's me. I read Umineko sometimes, and I
New game the other times.
yeah, new game all the other times, and sometimes I play Halo 2. Halo 2 is a fun game. You should play Halo 2. Halo 2 is good. Halo 2 is based. Halo 1 is also based, but Halo 2 is incredibly based. Halo 3 is even more so based. So, just play all the Halos. Honestly, that's what you should do. That's what I have to bring to the table this week. And next up we have Arimia. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rumia. I like shonen shit and also visual novels, which is why I'm forcing them to read Umineko.
Wow,
Force is a
excited.
strong word. Every time.
And Ari's here to recommend everybody read My Hero Academia, her
Hell
favorite
no, no,
shonen
no,
manga.
no.
All right.
How about read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga? There we
Read
go.
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah,
read
read
the Yu-Gi-Oh
Chainsaw Man.
manga.
Okay, the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga. Go read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga. That they have the death games in that one, right? Before they start getting into
Yeah.
card games. Okay.
Oh no, my hot chocolate's cold already.
Oh no, this how tragic. So tragic. And next up we have Shadow Man. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shadow. The thing I recommend is not dying.
No promises.
That's a good recommendation. Do you have any tips for doing this, Shadow?
Do you think Umineko characters could
Okay,
follow any
so we're
steps?
just eating flesh and fuck. How the rest of it go?
What?
My finger's bleeding. Sorry.
Hey, Shadow just said not to die. What are you doing?
I don't know how it started bleeding either. When did that happen?
That was actually Shadow cursing you. It was a challenge. It wasn't advice. It was a challenge. Try not to die. Jigsaw voice.
What's funny is what's
This
funnier
is
about
another
this is that
strong incident. Nyan, I think anyone don't die.
I ripped a hangnail off of one of my fingers earlier today, and it's not that finger.
Oh boy. All right. Well,
It's
next
not
up,
going well. I locked Nyan in a room so they wouldn't die if they're dying anyway.
I mean, that happens all the time.
I mean, you saw how that one with Battler fucking breaking his nails, trying to claw out of the room or whatever. Anyway, hi, I'm Nyan Bacon. I'm Andy. And I recommend getting your vaccines
Okay.
And
Base.
today's stream snack is Oreos dipped in cold milk.
Interesting that you
boy.
recommend that.
Oh boy.
Listen, I didn't say that vaccines were bad, and vaccines are inherently good. I just said that I haven't gotten mine as recently as I should be.
Cringe.
That's
I
true.
can accept that.
Book club.
That's true. This is cringe. This is cringe. Yeah,
After
this is
book
true.
club, I'm going to bed because I know this shit is gonna be 3 fucking hours long.
Sure.
All right. Well, before we get into the discussion, I want to take a moment to explain to the listeners at home. They're saying this wasn't the cover art for the manga volume. What is this? Well, that's because this is what the actual volume cover looked like. They put tall ass Will next to tiny baby Delanor, both with doing cool poses with their swords. I can't show both of them, and I can't just focus on Delanor because of the giant ass Umineko logo. So it wasn't gonna work out here. All right, but because this is an omnibus.
That's not an option here.
But because this was an omnibus, we had plenty of options that I could do alternatives for. I came up with a few alternatives, and I will showcase them right now real quick. We won't spend too much time on it. This was the Featherine cover alternative, which was a strong contender, I think. Then we had this version of Sayo and the other Beatrices. And this is a pretty cool one. This one was Anje, Erica, Berncastle, and, like, the Key. I think that one's a cool little shot. And then this alternative, like, Beatrice, Shannon, Cannon at, like, a roulette wheel. That one's also pretty cool.
It finally goes back to the gambling from episode 1.
So those were all the alternatives I came up with. We didn't go with that. We went with an alternative that Ari came up with, which was the different Sayo arts that comes in the middle of the omnibus that I had forgotten about. But I was able to find a very clear version of the image to use, so we used it. So that's what we have here today. We have Sayotriss or Sayobito, whatever you want to call them. So let's get into the discussion. But actually, before we get into this week's volumes, Andy is here, who was not here last week, who has now binged through all of the volumes. What did you think of the stuff from last week?
Can you do a quick?
It was everything up until Anje learning that there's a Book of One Truth. So there was a Halloween party. There was a murder.
We had a fake October 4th. We had the Anje bring into the Halloween party. We had
What happened, Ari? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we had.
No.
You remember that old argument we had, you and me, Andy, about whether or not Anje was going to physically be on the island with them one of the loops? Well, let me just say, it happened, okay? It happened. So somehow both of us were right, okay? So,
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was cute. That's the truth that I'm choosing to live by.
Did you enjoy their Halloween party?
For context, I read, I think, Volume 1 almost to the end of Volume 5 in one sitting from 4:30 to 10 p.m. Tuesday night. So I'm trying to rifle through all of that in my head right now. And honestly, most of what I remember was that I thought it was really stupid that the book was in crystal. And that was the only yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of dumb.
There was
so
like
I
the main
liked the Halloween part, and it was cute. And Anje was pissing me off, and yeah, most of my thoughts were about this week's reading, actually.
Okay. Yeah, we had like a whole mini we had the Halloween party, and then we had a mini like game within a game with like Berncastle trying to set up like a whole thing to them, and didn't work out, but then it was all just Berncastle trying to fuck with Anje anyways, so
yeah.
And then we get to this week. So
see, this week had Ava, Triss, and Erica, so I had reason to remember this week because I hate those people.
They were in last week's a little bit too. They came to, what was it, metaphorically save the day from the perspective of the reader for a second, and now in context here, they are in fact not saving the day. They are in fact fighting against the Battler and all them. Saving the day for Anje,
I
at least.
have a problem with that fight.
Huh?
And so I really enjoyed that fight, knowing you were going to have a problem with it.
Why would I have a problem with that fight?
Because for every single other fucking episode, you would be like,
Bro,
oh, I don't want to read these metaphysical fights. I just want to see the dead body because I know it's not real.
All right, so you're going to sit here and tell me that this is the same exact thing as all those other ones? This is what you're going to tell me? The last ones was where you literally are being presented a mystery by Beatrice, and we're being shown fight scenes for how people died, okay? It is very different than, oh, here's a Halloween party. This is all a lie. I'm telling you this is all a lie, but that's not important. Anyways, here's some spiritual fights about metaphorical things Ryokushi's trying to tell us. You would think this is the same thing.
I think he liked Leonor and Will's fight.
Of course he liked the Leonor and Will's fight. Everybody should like the Leonor and Will's fight.
Everybody cheered, except for
It
the
was
people
good.
who identified as
good.
the goats.
So,
I
I mentioned this in the spoiler chat. The theme this week for me was the meme Rikushi was embodying here. It was the, you fool, it is too late. I have depicted you as the cringe goat demon redditors trying to solve the mystery, and myself as the cool fantasy magic people defending magic. Like, because it was a lot of fights happening, a lot of it being metaphorical about other shit, but it's like, it was largely supposed to be Ryokushi, in my mind, this was like Ryokushi fighting against the reader. The readers just being depicted as ugly goat demons, trying to give their answers, literally saying quotes I've probably said in past episodes of Book Club. This is kind of bullshit, okay, being directly called out like this. I'm just saying.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, I do too. It was very funny.
Pretty good.
So, Burn Castle, of course, as we knew, was plotting shit. Of course, plotting shit, but plotting shit in a very the shit is now eternally fucked manner. They made it look like last week. They were like, oh, Battler, you've solved my my thing, and so now we'll free Anjay, and then we'll move on.
A little party.
A little fun. No.
Technically, Anjay is.
So many parties going on.
Technically, Anjay is free, but not coming back to Battler because now Anjay has been told that this is a game against between Anjay and Battler, which Battler is winning because Anjay didn't even realize there was a fight happening. And she now knows that the Book of the One Truth, which she saw for like a moment towards the beginning, it can be opened by a key that she has, and this book is supposedly the Diary of Ava. Recounting the events that actually happened on Rokkenjima. And now that Anjay knows this, Anjay goes to try to go back to the book, which she understands in the game board is located in the chapel. So we have a whole fucking fighting journey of the whole ensemble cast fighting everything to try to stop Anjay from discovering the truth. Because the stakes here are Anjay is prepared to die the moment she learns the truth. No matter what the truth is, really. Anjay wants to know the truth so that she could die. That was pretty much the established thing. I mean, Battler didn't want her to know the truth anyways, just because he would rather she has a nice, happy life. But they now understand that even more so it's worse because they're just like, oh, Anjay would literally just throw herself off a building if it would give her the truth. So we should probably not show her the truth at all. This is probably not something we should do. And so everybody's trying to fight tooth and nail against these goat demons that have been summoned to like try to fight them all. And so as I've explained, yes, the goat demons are literally the embodiment of readers trying to solve the mysteries of Umineko, both from multiple perspectives. Many are trying to argue that the magic things are false. Others are trying to argue against the logical issues, like against Will and Delanor, but they're not doing it accurately, or they're doing it with the understanding that magic could explain certain things, or like I forget what it was. It was something to where like
abiding by the rules.
Yeah, they were ignoring the rules, and therefore it was something like, okay, these goats could only get killed by the magic users. These goats could only get killed by the logic users. Like these are like the two different sides. Like so, like all the fantasy characters
And the one
can't
that's
do
not thinking
anything.
gets killed by Battler.
Yeah,
'Cause she's
yeah.
bullshit.
What was the line Battler said? Once you stop thinking, you've completely given up, or something. I think somebody
Yeah,
posted in the
give it up
chat.
to
Something like that.
game.
Completely giving up thinking means utter defeat.
Oh boy.
And then he came in looking the coolest.
It was
Like
so
you have Glador and Will just looking just amazing, just super cool, and then you got Battler just sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
Literally.
Again, I've said this before and I will say it again. I'm a lesbian, but god damn, Battler was so hot in this episode.
He is like just wonderful in this episode.
I think there was like another line too about and I was thinking back to a past interaction for one of our book clubs where I think Andy was like, I don't even want to be thinking about all these mystery stuff happening. I just want to read through and see what the answers are later. And I think like Ari was literally saying like, no, you can't stop thinking. If you're thinking it's over, you have to keep trying. And I was just like, oh, they're literally saying that shit this week.
Battler is Ari the whole time.
True.
Yeah, screw it's not Battler Borg, it's fucking I don't know. Insert a pun here about Ari's name being Battler.
But we can't think of one. Sorry.
You stop thinking. Shame on you.
Battler and me.
I've already done enough thinking today, okay? Be nice to me.
I'm not allowed to think anymore, so. All right. Listen. I've been depicted as the ugly goat demon, so you know I can't really do much here. I've been destroyed by Ryukishi. I can't do much. So
They're wearing suits, man. They got class. I don't know what you're talking about.
what were you saying, Ari?
Well, see, each of the goats basically represents a different theory that somebody has posited in the
Yep.
future. So
Yep.
take it as your true crimers, whatever, your witch hunters, whether it be that they just fully believe it's a fantasy, or if they believe it does hold weight against like mysteries, things like that. So.
In that respect too, I did appreciate the bits later on about what's Featherine's character's real name in the real world? Hachijo. The chapters about Hachijo like hosting a press conference about revealing the Book of the One Truth being opened or whatever, and you have these characters that are just outside waiting for it to start, being like, oh, so when's the next Rokenjima mystery convention happening? It's like, what the fuck? We're having conventions for this shit? What?
Like, it's fictional, but I think that was the first thing that genuinely gave me like actual like ick recoil. I was like, ugh, like I don't
like,
want to
oh,
read
no.
this part. Like,
You're like-
that's really like weird and like,
You're like,
not
oh no.
good.
Yeah. Because
It's like
it's
No, go on.
weird too, because in the context of reading this as its own fictional story, you're like, well, it's talking about true crime, but this isn't true crime. It's, you know, in their world, they're like, it can essentially be equal to somebody having a meetup for their fandom thing. But in the context of actually in the story, it's them meeting up to talk about this horrific this is like, hey, let's all meet up for the Jeffrey Dahmer fucking convention here. It's like, what the fuck?
which like we don't really. I don't think we have a real world equivalent to
I
it.
hope we don't have a real
But-
world
We don't.
equivalent.
We do have very similar ones. Like you've got ghost tours, you've got like haunted, like
That's
any kind
true.
of haunted houses,
Yep.
mental institutions that are now like basically set pieces.
Here at Salem, Massachusetts, fucking horrific
Yeah.
acts happening there, but that's like a tourist attraction now. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like you've got so much true crime tourism nowadays. So we don't.
As opposed to mood tourism, which what should be happening.
True. If only he had lived.
No, he
But-
did live. According to the Halloween party, he lived, and that's the one truth.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
still
true.
on Rokujima to this day.
Watching the must all time.
Just ignore the Rokenjimas of just
The
a pile of
crater.
ashes. Crater in the ocean.
Okay.
That should have been an omake where Battler's like, no, Anjay, we're still on Rokenjima. she like grabs out her phone and pulls a picture up of it.
What?
There's a big crater battle. How do you explain this?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Magic.
So
I'm gonna sneeze.
everybody's trying to run away. I think like most of the people that aren't Battler and Beatrice or whatever, they're like just trying to run to the entrance. They're trying to open the entrance to the Golden Land because that seems to be the only way they can like escape out of there. Because the whole
ghosts are actively eating it.
yeah, like the island is like floating, seemingly. I think it was trying to be. I couldn't understand if I was understanding it right. It seemed like it was depicting as there's so many goats that they're essentially taking over the ocean. But then eventually it just looked like the island was just floating with how many of them there were that were consuming the ocean. So I was like, holy shit.
The theories are chipping away at the possibilities of what could be. That's why all the ground is breaking up and dissolving.
I found most of this week like amazing with like all the visual shit that was going on, especially in context with knowing none of the shit's in the VN. I was like,
no. A lot of this, well, visually it's not, but
that's what I mean. Yeah, visually it's not. I mean, of course, yeah, it would have to be described.
Visually, you get the top overview of Rokenjima at night. That's like a blurred photo that he took from a plane or something. Like that's what you get for the goats taking over it, basically.
But yeah, there was just like even just beyond that one scene, like all the other art with like how the scenes are depicted and like people showcasing like their moods and like how the fights are looking like they're supposed to go, like all of it I felt like went super fucking hard this week, and I really loved it so much this week. Not to say that the other weeks it was bad, it was just more so this week I was like way more hyped for it, because now all the stakes are established and I actually understand a lot of these characters are and what their motivations are for fucking things, and there's
just so many cool moments.
Yeah. Erica showing up to try to chain Battler and giving us more answers for things I think we pretty much already knew, but
So that scene. This week we actually had several deviations from the visual novel.
Yeah.
The first of which that I remember is is Erica. So when Erica shows up, it's the same setup of Beto and Battler are like, hey, we need to get to the chapel. Beto tries to go there, but Battler's chained. Something's on his wrist. And he looks over and it's Erica. And he says, just go on, Beto. And so Erica appears and he throws off his cape and the two of them basically chain the other into like a closed room
logical
deathmatch.
Stalemate thing. Yeah,
a logical stalemate where it's just a logical battle that we've seen before, where Battler has locked Erica into a closed room and killed her, and Erica has locked Battler in a closed room and killed him. All kind of metaphorical speaking, but basically it's just a logic battle of how did one kill the other in a closed room. And the two fight it out with red and blue, and the end result is they both basically it's a tie. I forget which Erica's goal
wasn't really to win, it was just to distract Battler long enough for Anjay to get the book, pretty much.
I think Erica's solution was that there was no ceiling on the room, so she was able to kill him or something. I forget what the other one was, but they were both like kind of ridiculous, but also like this wasn't like a super serious death game. It was just a stalling tactic.
Right. And
so
that's not. This is not how it's depicted here.
Yeah. In the manga, it's Erica comes up and she's like, actually, I figured it out. I know who your wife is.
Those episodes I was owned on, I wasn't actually owned. I figured them out now, so I'm not owned anymore, actually. So, like, last week, one of the weeks, we got the answers for the first 4 episodes, essentially. We were basically told many hints towards the answers. And I think that was
the end of episode 7.
Right. This time, we got Erica, and I think a couple other characters, like Anjay, I think, or whatever, and the goats, giving us answers to the other, hints at least, to the other episodes and what could have happened in them. Erica was specifically focused on the games that she lost on, being like, well, okay, I was tricked because I didn't actually check the body in this case. I just accepted that this was like this. I was too busy with this thing, and actually the letter was left behind. It wasn't actually like a thing that did this thing. I forget how they explained all of it, but it was essentially like her trying to just argue back about the games relevant to her specifically, being like, I know how you did it. I know how you got out of the closet, even though like Canon couldn't have been in the closet. And it pretty much came to the assumption we like pretty easily came to. It's that it's just Canon was in there and then changed identities to somebody else's name, and that's we finally got an actual moment where I think the manga officially said Canon and Shannon are the same person this week. It like was pretty much said earlier, but I don't think it was officially said earlier. And this was the first week where it actually fully confirmed to us that they're the same person sharing names with each other.
Guess what? It's never said in the visual. A lot, like someone mentioned in our chats that like in the visual novel, there is no confessions. There is no Sayo Yasuda is the true culprit. There is just the in-between lines that you have to read to figure it out, to actually see her as she is.
Right.
That's why I was asking, is because it felt like we were being given like a lot of answers, and I was like, how much of this was in the visual novel?
I think these parts are additions that he added, like he requested to be added.
Okay.
Yes.
So these aren't things that like the mangaka just decided to add. This is basically his director's cut of it, essentially.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it being spoon-fed to me, though.
Finally, after 8 episodes.
After 5 months.
volumes.
After 5 months, almost.
I think I did the math, and it's like, this is actually what was interesting to me, because I tell people, like, this is what I've been reading. I think it was 50 volumes, like, outside of the omnibuses. Like, if you count what any list says, it's 50 volumes. But it's only 240-something chapters, which means that it's more volumes, but less chapters than I Am a Hero.
Well, that would be the nature of different series have different lengths for their chapters, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Some 4 commas, they'll like make literally every page a chapter and things to that effect. So like, I think Tomo-chan as a Girl is like 300 chapters, even though it's like 5 volumes or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So we had the Erica Battler chained battle, the battle
BDSM
of the chains.
Fight.
Yep. The BDSM logical fight. Erica Furudo, am able to deduce this. And meanwhile, Anjay and Bito are fighting inside the chapel, in their own little locked room battle going on there. Beatrice is just like, I have locked you in this room and killed you. Solve that, motherfucker.
Now that scene is completely in the VN. All of that's completely how it is.
And she's like, what? There's a million ways you could have done it. It could have been poison, it could have been this, it could have been that. And she's just like saying, no, this rule, no. No, she wasn't even specific. She was just saying, no, you're wrong in like red.
No. Yeah.
Just no,
You're
that's
wrong.
not what happened. I did not, I reject you. I reject this. I
refuse,
reject.
yeah.
And then eventually Anjay figures it out. I think it was something like, oh, you killed me by just locking me in here and then I starved to death. And
Just
Beatrice
like
was
real life.
and Beatrice was like, no.
Yeah,
And then Anjay got...
You spoiled my plans to Andy in their locked room. What have you done, Shep?
Anjay was finally able to get the Book of the One Truth. I was kind of like a little awkward about the fact that like Anjay's out there just trying her best to find the truth for herself, really having to fight everybody in the world to go find the truth. But the Ryukishi depicts this as like we are meant to stop her from getting the MacGuffin. Like, we are meant to root for Battler and Beto trying to stop her. But I for the most part, was like, no, I want Ajay to find it. I want her to find the truth. I don't like that they're just deciding her choice of this. I don't like that.
True.
But this is a thing that they bring up that fact after they basically give, like, they lose the battle and Ajay does get the Book of the One Truth. Then they're talking to each other in like the Golden Lamp, being like, well, you know, maybe we weren't to, you know, maybe it wasn't meant for us to decide this kind of shit for them or things to that effect, I think was what they talked about. But I was just thinking, like, you know, I understand why they don't want her to read the book, both because of the implications of what the truth says and like how she's going to respond to it. As it's been established, she's just willing to die as soon as she knows the truth, pretty much. She has nothing else to live for, pretty much. And I understand that, but also it should be Anjay's decision with that stuff, I feel. I don't know. She's a grown woman now, right? Was she 16, 18? I forget how old she is.
18.
She's a grown woman-ish.
In the chapel, I think Beto calls her a child, and she's like, I'm 18. I'm an adult now.
Yeah, motherfucker. She's almost as old as Beatrice was before she died, right? So.
Hey, Beatrice is 1,000 years old. What are you talking about?
Oh, true. How could I forget?
Never forget the heart, chap, or else you'll die.
Oh God, I wouldn't want that. So anyway, again, that was just a whole thing where I was just like, you know, they're really trying to set us up to be rooting for the team to like convince Anjay to not accept what the real truth is, to not take a look at the real truth. But I'm just like, that's her fucking choice. Why do you have to like trick her and everything with this? I don't know.
I think that I supported them so almost entirely because we watched Anjay literally like explode when she was shown the truth. So, like, obviously she can't fucking handle it. She still can't fucking handle it.
It's about that truth, though. We get some answers.
I think she exploded into mincemeat at least twice upon finding it out. So, like, why would I want Anjay to know the truth if she explodes?
Well, the first time she was turned to mincemeat wasn't because of finding out the truth. It was because she revealed to Battler that she was Anjay or whatever.
No. In the theater with Lion.
Yeah, that was where I would consider the first time. The second time would have just been this week.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying, like, there's been two times before. No. Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, again, like...
I do math sometimes.
Do you? I like, listen, it's... I don't know. I don't know how I feel, but hey, listen, people deserve the right to know the truth, okay? They're not going to feel great about it. Maybe they'll feel like shit. Okay, but it's their choice how they respond to it. They're gonna ruin their lives obsessing over wanting the truth the whole time. I watched I was thinking about this too. I watched Millennium Actress the other day for the first time recently. I don't think anybody's here has seen Millennium Actress, but the premise of the movie is about this actress. It's a Satoshi Kon anime film. It's about this actress who has been doing all these films. The story is told from all these different films she did, as she tries to find this old soldier guy she met once growing up that she like fell in love with for like after encountering a couple times, and has been trying to find him throughout her whole life. And like the whole thing is just about her being like, you know, maybe I didn't actually love him. I just loved the idea of chasing after him, this like concept of like wanting this thing, you know, and I made this my whole life, even though like I barely communicated with the guy. And like this here too, it was reminding me of that, because I'm just like, Anjay, ever since they've died, her whole life, beyond her control too, because the whole world has been talking about her family's mystery. Her whole life has been surrounded by the mystery of her what happened to her family. It's not just like she was the only one obsessed with this. The whole world was, and it was directly impacting her to the point where I'm just like, I don't know. I strongly feel like this decision should have been left to her. I feel like if Battler was upfront with her and like discussed with her more calmly about like how to properly prepare her for the actual truth instead of trying to trick her into not wanting the truth, I feel like things with Anjay would have gotten a lot smoother. But we have chosen the gaslight Anjay route instead, when Anjay knew the whole time it was gaslighting. Like, it wasn't even working on her. She just knew the whole time.
To
I mean, he
play
kind of told her it was gaslighting. so-
Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah.
to play devil's advocate, as I very clearly like to do, Anjay, like there was, I think, at least once, there was a whole interaction about the fact that Anjay has been stuck, like, in the grieving mindset of, like, her 6-year-old self. So, and, like, Battler still considers her his little sister, so, like, even if he were to think logically, like, okay, yeah, it would probably be more reasonable to let her find the truth for herself, like, in his mind, she's still, like, a kid that would not be able to handle the truth. Because to him, that's all, like, who she is. He doesn't even really know this, like, 18-year-old version of herself. Because he fucking died, loser.
And
I wouldn't have died.
I do think she even like directly said like I basically died on that day too, just metaphorically. This is why I'm
Yeah.
ready to die once I learn the truth or whatever. It sort of reminds me though about serial killers who have been caught but have not revealed the locations of all of the bodies that they have killed, and so the families that want to properly grieve for their missing their missing family members who were the victims, they don't know who, like, if they actually died from this person or like where their bodies were, and they feel like there's not a closure involved with that. And like to some extent maybe they don't want to know if their missing child actually ended up like a murder for the serial killer or whatever, and so to them they might obsess over wanting that truth. Like maybe they have a strong suspicion about a serial killer who has killed their child, but they don't know for sure because they won't admit it. And like it's one of those things where like they will obsess over that kind of thing too, probably because they want the answers, they want the closure for it. And I think about that kind of stuff when I think about Anjay's situation. I feel for Anjay. I think my main takeaway was I want her to learn the truth, and I was kind of rooting for her this week. Now that being said, I don't root for the mindset of once I find the truth I can finally kill myself. I do not root for that mindset. I think that problem is, again, like I had mentioned, one where you can have both of these things. You can help somebody reach the closure they need and prepare them for life afterwards. But it has to be done properly, I think. And I don't think Battler was approaching it properly here.
Has any single Ushinomiya approached any single situation in their lives properly?
Also,
Listen,
like,
he's
was
tried,
that
okay?
really
Has
even
any
equipped
single
to do that?
Hideyoshi,
Alright,
okay, Hideyoshi.
Absolutely, Hideyoshi can do
And yet
no
he's still
wrong.
dead.
No! Shush! Alright, I have good news.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I remember Bungo Stray Dog's guy's name. I'm not
Then
gonna
what
say
is
it.
his name?
I'm not
Say
gonna
it.
say it.
Say
Say
my
it.
name.
Say
Don't
it.
know it.
See, you
It's
can't say it.
Amakusa.
Oh my god, you're not supposed to
Oh
say
my
that.
God.
Oh my god. It's Bungo Stray Dogs guy. He didn't even show up this week. You remembered his name?
Oh yeah, he didn't.
He showed
I
up.
was saying-
He showed up
I
the
was
volumes
thinking-
before. He showed up the volumes
Because
before, I think. Yeah.
I was thinking about the fact that, like, I had kind of, like, at this point, I'm sure that we have all figured that Anjay, like, in the future, like, is dead. She did not survive the impact on the car jumping from the building. All of this is happening in, like, the second, like, if this were to be happening, it's happening in the seconds as she is falling off the building.
But
I
man,
feel like
thought Hiroshi
like-
was immune to fall damage.
I think Burn kind of cemented that. So literally all this time I've been thinking about what Amakusa could represent that is definitely not the gun that she was using to kill Kyrie's sister. I did propose that. But it's like, I don't know. That's why I was thinking of him, was like, as we're talking about Anjay, you know, struggling to like figure out what she's gonna do after like she figures it out or whatever, like what part of her does Amakusa represent, because very clearly he's like not real.
Right. When I was reading it and being like, okay, she probably did actually die from falling or whatever, and thinking as well, like she's probably just having all these realizations as she's falling, I was like, Man, that kind of sucks. That's just like when I go to like make a move in chess. Haha, chess. Can you remember chess? When I go to make a move in chess, and the moment I make the move, I'm like, oh shit, that was the worst move to possibly do. Oh no, I was supposed to do this and this and this. And like she's just like falling off. She's like, okay, I couldn't figure it out. I'm gonna kill myself now. It jumps off like mid falling, realizes like, oh shit, that's what happened, and then like you're dead. It's like fuck. Why?
Also, I'm realizing that these were all thoughts that I had in the reading for last week, and I just like I can't separate the two.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I read them at one go.
I mean, it works for this week too because I got brought back. So yeah.
It's so funny how many small things I got right. Because I think I called back when Ajay was introduced that she didn't survive that fall. Like she outright killed herself.
Yeah, one of you definitely called that.
My dollhouse theory also came back with the mention of the Chester sisters being inspired by Maria's bunny dolls.
I mentioned that. I actually caught that.
Yeah, Shadow caught that at some point. I don't remember if you were there that week.
I was not there that week, and I thought
you weren't.
By that.
I don't think you were. It was. I had brought up like, they were saying like one of them died. What's the lore behind that? And Shadow was like, it was the one that Rosa broke. It was Maria's little toy thing. I was like, oh, okay, that's what that was. All right.
I was on that right away. Okay. I was like,
Shadow's got my back.
I don't think I ever showed her design. I'll grab that real quick.
So, all the Anjay stuff. Anjay, despite the stakes surrounding the thing, Anjay said, no, I've had enough of this bullshit. I'm not being gaslit by you guys anymore. I want the truth, and you're not gonna stop me from getting it. Gets the book of the one truth, but it's encased in like ice crystal thing or whatever. I don't know if it was supposed to be ice, but it's like some kind of crystal thing. And then she goes away with her side of the Avengers Civil War thing going on here. We have her side had like Erica, Avatris, Burn, Featherine. I forget if there was any others. The goat demon heads were also on their side, I suppose.
The Redditors, they're back.
The Redditors, yes. And everybody else is trying to just like sitting around like waiting for the entrance to the Golden Land to open. They need two people to be on the other side to hold the door open, I think was the thing. And
yes,
so Beatrice
two people need to close the door.
Yeah. Battler tried to snatch a thing from Erica because I think he had learned. He was like, wait a minute, how were they able to teleport out of the game world? You're not supposed to be able to do that unless you have a certain thing. Oh, they have these weird fragment things that let them teleport out. I have to try to steal that by logically distracting Erica, which did not work at all.
And didn't go too well.
I think it was literally just her. I think she said, yeah, that's not going to do anything to me. And in fact, I actually know that Shannon and Cannon are one person. Anyways, next question. And then we jump to where the evil side, I guess it's sort of depicted like this is the evil side, the Burn Castle side of things. They go to let me here it is. I have the full name. They go to the honored city of books curated by Her Majesty the Witch of Theater and Drama and Observation. But they shorten it down to like the library or the Holy City of Books or some shit
City
like that.
Of books, yeah.
Which I immediately assumed was the internet. That was my assumption. I was just like, oh, this is just the vast wealth of information here in this like ethereal place.
Sea of the web or whatever. Oh, fucking know.
I feel like there was like several times here where it was just like, this is the internet. This is the internet. This is the internet. And I was like, okay, all these goat demon heads, they could also be the internet. This massive library where all the people are ready for the big reveal of this event thing. This quote press conference here. It's all just the internet. It's like Hachijo's blog in the press conference is what I imagined. And so they're like, okay, we have the book. You're going to be the first one to read it, Andre. I'm saying this in red, so you know you're going to be the first one to read it. It's going to take some time for us to thaw it out for narrative reasons, I guess. We have to let Erica ramble to you and fuck with you for a little bit before you can actually read the Book of the One Truth. And we need to cut back to everybody else being like, why did we do this? What do we do from here? Where did the scene happen? I forget when. When did the scene happen with everybody pretty much apologized. Oh no, that was way later on with the Shannon stuff.
That was
Okay.
later.
Oh yeah, they at some point it's just like Beatrice and Battler outside the door. There's just only the platform to the door, and there's like nothing else. And then everybody else is inside the Golden Land. And then they're like, all right, well, at least all the goat things are gone. And there's like giant, massive ships for more goats showing up. And they're like, all the ships are like flying and shit. Like, oh no, that's they're not winning this. They're not gonna win this fight. And
They're fine.
they open up. Andre gets to open up and read the book of the one truth.
And guess what it is?
It was the answer we got last episode. They did an Uno reverse of the thing I was pissed about last time. The thing I was pissed about last week was Burncastle saying, "Oh, I said in red, this is the truth," and then I whispered, if you want it to be, but now they did the Uno reverse. Ryukishi heard me complaining, and he did the Uno reverse on that, and he said, "No, wait, actually, that is the truth. I was just pre-fucking with Anjay, and now we are re-fucking with Anjay with the same truth here. Now the truth is, yes, your parents did in fact kill them, and all those events did actually happen, and all that." It was like her being just like, "Oh, I feel like I've seen this before," and it's just like, "Oh, it was the one from last time that made me turn to mincemeat instantly, so I will just also turn to mincemeat instantly here." And then Burncastle's like, "All right, well, that's done. Moving on. It's time for the press conference. We get to show this off." Okay. Oh, the other thing. Okay. Lambda Delta is now playing a part here. Lambda Delta. I forget. Does this happen before or after the Shannon thing, though? This is before the after. Because Lambda Delta eventually, they're like. It was before, yeah. Yes. I remember, yes. It was before, because they're all in the Gold Land being like, what do we do now? How can we reach Anjay? What can we do to... And they're like, oh, they're hosting a press conference to read the Book of the One Truth. And we gotta do something about this. What do we do? Well, we can't go to the party unless we're invited, and even if we are invited, we have to be there. We can't be late, otherwise our invite doesn't work. Unless you're a witch of the Senate. And then they all look at Lambda Delta. And Lambda Delta's like, what? You need something? What do you want from me? And they're just like, come on, it's time for you to save the day here. And I think they tried.
Screenshot for that, yeah.
It was really interesting during that scene I guess at the end, that Lambda actually seemed like sullen about the fact that like she couldn't help or wouldn't help. She was like, I'm not gonna help, and then sat on top of the gazebo pouting about it.
It was like she would help because she would think it would be entertaining, but she also doesn't want to get in trouble for it, and she feels like they would absolutely lose the fight if she tried to help. So she doesn't want to get caught for it, it sounded like.
Because in her perspective, the severity would be much worse for her because, like, from her perspective, these are just pieces in a game board that she can leave at any point in time, but she is a 1,000-year witch, she is a venerated witch that is well known, so she wouldn't get off on just, being killed or something. The stakes would be a lot worse for her, is how she perceives it.
Okay.
This is how I don't remember if I've seen how Zepar and Furfur looked like in the VN. That's how they look like in the VN. Okay.
There's that quality.
We're the MCs.
This is the Lady Lambda Delta's time to shine.
Question mark.
Oh wait, I love this.
Bigger full body of them.
I love this Lambda Delta meme that Min Mod post. I'm gonna show it on here. I think they were just like, okay, well, we can't convince. Lambda Delta was literally trying to like scare them off, being like, no, I'm not doing this shit. It's not my fucking problem, motherfuckers. And then they were just like, it's okay, it's fine. We'll figure something out. Go fetch her some more popcorn, please. Because like the troll still trying to be like, oh, maybe she'll help us, maybe.
And Battler did not come back after that scene.
Lambda Delta, like that whole scene, I'm like, Lambda Delta is gonna help though. That's gonna happen. Like we have to progress their storyline here. This is gonna happen. Like you're not fooling me, Ryukishi. I know where this goes. Lambda Delta's gonna come up with some weird reason why, like tsundere reason why she wants to help, and we're gonna help. Like I don't know what to say. Like I don't know. Like they got nothing they could do, and shit seems like it's fucked. So, but everybody's doing their whole apologies out in the Golden Land. As we or was it after we have a whole segment where we just kind of stop everything, like we have an intermission before the press conference thing, or did the press conference happen and then we did the intermission? God, I keep getting the
What
timelines
intermission
mixed
are
up.
you talking about?
So the intermission being the Hachijo stuff, the Hachijo side story, and then all of the Sayo stuff, because that was all in the bonus chapters.
Yeah, so
Or the extra chapters.
Press conference happened, and then we see Anjay seeing the truth, and then she passes out from dying, and then
That's a little more than passing out.
and then
She got the big sleep.
we see Hachijo's interlude where she finds someone on the side of the road about to die, and she brings them into her home. And that's where we find out that her name is actually Ikuko, and this new person that she brought in she named them Toya.
I think I remembered in that scene, that whole bit where we were actually getting into Hachijo's like life. I was just thinking like, okay, we even have like a Burn Castle cat representation here. I was just like, is Featherine Ryukishi? That was my thought. This is my thought. I was like, is Hachijo / Featherine just Ryukishi, and Ryukishi just like struggling a million iterations on a story, and then eventually lands on, hey, maybe what if I wrote a story about trying to figure out a million different iterations of this murder mystery with a rich family or whatever. I didn't know if that was what was happening, but that was the implications I was getting with these things.
Yeah, because like in the interlude, we find out again that what we've been told is not reality. Because we see that we were introduced to the author, the super popular author Toya Hachijo, but now we're told that was not her. That Ikuko was actually a hikikomori. She stayed inside all the time, didn't leave. She wasn't a popular author, or at least at the time of the interlude.
She would write but not submit it anywhere.
Yeah.
She had tried and then gave up because it got rejected. So then she just writes it for funsies, and then nobody reads it.
I do think earlier they had said that like on her first try it was submitted, but of course we see that she submits it under the name Toya, so
yeah,
that could still be true. But
now
things like that.
Now that scene, before I got to the other chapters, I was trying to think like, who is this person that she's met? Is this supposed to be Battler? Is this supposed to be Shannon or whatever? I think the answer that we got, because we shifted into the Sayo stuff, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but here was my implication of that scene. My implication of that scene, and this could be totally wrong, was that this was Sayo, who has somehow miraculously survived the events on Rokkenjima, but now has memory loss and has thus been taken care of by Hachijo, and eventually, once the Rokkenjima memories are brought up to her, has remembered all of this stuff, and is now, this is where we get into the Sayo explanation stuff. I don't know if that's at all cooking, but that was my implication, especially when they were like, I don't remember any details except for the fact that I'm 18. I'm specifically 18. I don't know why I remember this detail, but I specifically remember to read the script that says I am 18. So I'm like, oh, okay. So
Anjay's self-insert, because I thought that it was like maybe it was Sayo, but it was Anjay living temporarily through Sayo, because I thought that what had happened is she had taken that bottle with the red stuff, like the red script in it, and put it and tucked it away, and then like that wasn't mentioned again.
Oh, that is true.
For the rest of the series, for the rest of this chunk.
So when she died, it like activated and like mixed with her soul or something.
Oh,
So
that's true.
Okay,
So
some heavy magic here.
that's why it went from her death to her coming back in the Golden Land, is because that was her like experiencing maybe Sayo's life in that fragment, and like seeing the truth not just from her perspective and Ava's perspective, but now Sayo's perspective, and being able to understand Sayo. But like, I honestly thought that it was just like Anjay. I hadn't considered the idea that it was Sayo actually in that fragment. I was just like, damn, Anjay really is such a main character. She just self-inserted her into this fragment.
It could technically be both, because Anjay has been instilled this idea of like, you're the next Beatrice in the line of the Beatrices, and then like somehow in her memory of like all the facts might have gotten them confused and been like, oh, I'm supposed to say I'm 18, or I don't know. I was trying to, that detail about the 18 remembering was, I thought, like a big hint, but also the things that you said also make sense too. Who's right, Ari? Who's right?
I'm not saying anything.
Are we allowed to? Is this something that we will be explained later on,
Yes.
or is okay? All right.
Oh,
I just didn't know if this is something where it's like you're meant to interpret it or whatever.
No,
Okay.
you can interpret it right now, but it will be explained. In the
Okay,
next
so
few
my
months.
guess that I'm locking in still is that this is Sayo, who has miraculously survived and has remembered the one detail of her script is that I am 18. I am 18.
Now, I will say, in the VN, this is another kind of Yasu situation where we are not seeing this character.
Yes.
This character does not have a sprite. They do not. We are not seeing who they are, what they look like. I don't even think we're given really a good description for them.
I couldn't tell if
definitely
they.
not as clear as the manga makes them out to be.
The manga. I was thinking to myself the whole time when it kept trying to vaguely show them in the manga, I'm like, are they supposed to look agender? Because they're looking like there's some kind of male character there, but I couldn't
they were
tell.
looking male in the manga.
Because I was like, this very clearly looks like a male character, but I don't know if they're meant to be presented like a male character. We're supposed to be seeing them as like agender or whatever. Like, I don't know what they're supposed to, like. I was looking at that to be like, is this supposed to be like, who am I narrowing this down as? But then even that doesn't necessarily help, because the whole canon, Shannon, like that kind of stuff. So I didn't know if like that kind of thing was going on too. I don't know what was going on. But
I mean, as we do find out immediately afterwards, because Hachijo she just finds the message bottle that has Sayo's confession in it.
it's just there.
Great coincidence that the person that's clearly harboring someone, possibly a connection to Rokujima, has the confession bottle and Ava's diary. Great.
I was trying to think, because in my head I was thinking this is Sayo / Shannon, but also she was a hikikomori, not like a famous popular author, except when they were writing under the name Toya Hachijo. So I was thinking, like, is this something to where after Sayo survived the Rokujima explosion somehow and was taken care of by Hachijo, they have started writing eventually, and their works are what has won all of the awards, and it's just maybe they're writing message bottles about the Rokujima murders too. I don't know. I was coming up with all these kind of ideas for what was going on with that, but I was very interested. I did again like the idea of the little cat that Hachijo had, clearly being symbolic of Burn Castle too. Like when they go to the press conference and they turn back to the cat, all the like, I think they showed like a shot of like the guards they had too, just turning into like other supernatural beings. I don't remember if they were goat things or something else, but they were turning into shit too.
Dogs or something.
Yeah. I still like the theory that Burn Castle is actually just Will's cat. I know it's not true, but I just think it's funny. Yeah.
Diana's not that bad. She can't be. No.
Do you think we're gonna get like a bonus meme comic? Do you think we'll get a bonus meme comic of Diane and Burn Castle just hanging out together? I want it. I want to see it. Okay, so we transition from the Hachijo bonus meme scene, which
one thing I want to mention from earlier that I forgot to mention.
Yeah, what's that?
During Erica and Mather's thing about Game 6.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Game 5. It was specifically this. I've said in the spoiler zone.
Oh,
This is easily
yeah.
done by preparing a hiding. Yes, it was the thing I said before about the how did the person on the phone know my favorite season, bro? Like, there's 4 seasons. You just have a different card in every area of the room. It's not hard. What? Or it's Shannon who you've told this to, like, or they guessed. It's 1 in 4 chance. Like, it's not hard. So, so we transition from I liked the little Hachijo bonus meme scene. I liked that little scene. And then we go into finding the confession bottle, and then we go into the confessions of the Golden Witch, of which it tells us in a little more detail the whole lore drop about Sayo and why all of this has happened. So many of the things we mentioned before about, like, oh, all of these characters are just fanfics they made up together, like either her by herself or like with Marie and all that. That was absolutely true. We see like pages of like the design, the like early designs, the Moe designs of like Gap, which is then originally written as Beatrice and then crossed out, and then the next page is the next iteration of Beatrice. I was like, oh, this little cute thing showing off the little like progress of the different OC design she's cooking up, talking about how, you know, all the people, all the other servants in the house treated her kindly growing up. They, you know, she was the smallest, so she was kind of picked on by all the other ones. Talks about her love interest with Battler, which was very, very cute with the faces for all those scenes. I really loved the like cutesy, blushy, like young Sayo being given the cheesy line by Battler face, followed by the next page being a giant art of them later on just married in like wedding outfits together.
That was so
I was
cute.
like, oh my god. I want.
Let me reiterate. Sayo did some things wrong, but Sayo was justified in what she did wrong.
Oh no!
Listen.
She was justified. Battler did nothing wrong. Hideyoshi did nothing wrong.
We'll get into the moral implications about these things. So it was Sayo has not been a murderer all her life, a calculating murderer all her life though. Okay, this is the thing that I'm getting at here. It was like very cute moments where she's like immediately imagining them getting married, and then you just see her being like, all right, Battler's coming in a year, I gotta be prepared to be his wife. Let me practice being cool like Jessica. Hey, Battler, been a while. No, I can't say his name like that. That's too embarrassing. Reading an article about the secret to a bigger bust, because she was like, oh well, he wants big, like he likes big breasts. What? How can I get them? Why? But then that kind of stuff transitions to bad things for her, because then eventually, as she grows up, and a couple of years later, she's like, why aren't they growing out? Why are all my friends having periods? Why aren't I having periods? And from what I gather, it has not been explained to Sayo what has happened to their body somehow.
No, they were just like, figure it out.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, they were born male, then when they got thrown off the cliff, their lower abdomen was mutilated to essentially like that whole... What?
No, you're right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was mutilated to the point where they were. This is why they keep saying this body that cannot love or whatever quote. Like it's that the genitals were destroyed essentially, and so they are male, but that was destroyed, and then they were also just hidden as a female servant, and so they're having this whole crisis later on where they're like, I want to be the woman Battler loves, but now I'm realizing all these other things about my body are not going to happen as a result of my past that I don't fully remember the implication, because she doesn't remember being thrown off the cliff.
She was like a newborn, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like, she doesn't remember that. She's never been explained that that's happened. She didn't even realize until now that all happened to her body. And so she was thinking to herself like, I thought I was a woman essentially. And now it's a whole thing where she's like, well, I now also have this identity of canon who can embody the opposite that my personal self is, but is more accurate towards how my physical self is, I think. Is that how it's explained? I don't know if I'm getting this right with this.
So you are right that yes, she was partially like very damaged in the fall, And when they rescued her, they had to do some kind of surgeries, probably several, to get her to survive. And one of those was something to her lower regions. We are never really told explicitly. For the best, probably.
Right.
And part of that, it was we don't know. But for some
my
they never really
assumption
told
had
her.
been they said lacerations to the abdomen. So my assumption was that she had damaged her womb bad enough that she had to have the whole thing removed, which meant that she would have no longer had ovaries to release the estrogen necessary to go through female puberty.
Well, she was born male.
Yeah, I was yeah.
Well, I was wrong then.
Like that's what we were told
Oh,
since episode 5.
ratio.
Well,
She was born male. That's what Lambda Delta tells us in episode 5, and that's what Will clarifies in episode 7 when the whole gender thing with Lion.
Lion doesn't have a gender. What are you talking about?
That too.
True.
Sex is most likely male, but Sayo was born male, and in the fall, a lot was damaged, and they most likely removed some stuff as well in the surgeries to get them to survive.
One other thing we know was removed is their extra toe.
Their extra toe.
Yes,
which was integral.
Was most likely just to hide her identity. Like I really doubt that they did any kind of gender surgery.
Yeah,
actually,
to hide her, but
all of the fatal damage was in that 6th toe.
So the reason why the toe is important though is because we knew before that Kinzo had realized that Shannon was their Beatrice child at some point in the past. Well, Lion was how they named them. He realized that, but we didn't know how he had realized that. And this was how. It was literally like at one point he saw their foot, and their foot clearly had the mark of like a surgery scar of like removing the toe. He like immediately saw it, recognized it, and was like looked again. She was like, "You motherfucker, you didn't do it. I think you did." Like I think that was literally how he delivered the line. He's like, "You didn't do that, did you?"
That and then the shot of Genji. That is the face of a man who knows he fucked. That is the face of a man.
No, only do.
I love too. It went from like Kinzo like realizing it to immediately being like, "Hey, Sayo, want to learn how to use a gun?" It's what I teach all the members of the family.
My daughter now, I guess. Time to teach her how to use the gun.
Because if you remember, Kenzo was picked from one of the very branch families to lead the Oshinomiya family. One part because he had polydactyly, he had an extra toe, and that's one of the things in the earlier episodes when we were still debating on if Kenzo was alive or not. Whenever his body would turn up, they would be able to identify it because of his polydactyly.
Right.
And in turn with that, Sayo and Leon both have polydactyly on their toes, so.
Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, Sayo at least.
Oh, true. So, yeah, so we had the whole official explanation about the Shannon canon being the same person, but also Sayo kind of stuff. We have these integral like moments of being like, oh, this is when she became friends with Maria. This is, how she grew up together with Jessica, but then also at times would just switch identities to canon, and all the other servants would just corroborate her story as canon and things to that effect. Like they would like be chill with that, and everybody would treat it fine. My question was, and I didn't. Oh, actually, no, I do know the answer. I don't know why I was thinking about asking this because I already knew it. I was like, did Jessica know? And the answer is no. Jessica did not know that was going on. That was an integral problem. The integral problem being
I was waiting for that.
The integral problem being, Shannon starts having a relationship with George. Canon's also starting to have a thing with Jessica. But at first they weren't going out, but it was, Shannon talking to Jessica, and then Jessica's like, if Canon's seeing anybody, I think he's really neat. I think he's really, hot, and I like him. Or whatever. I don't think that's how she was saying it, but she was like saying,
Does he have a boyfriend?
She was
and the
like,
look
boy,
on
here we go.
Sayo's face.
It was golden.
it was one of those moments though where I was like, oh no, that's gonna be some romance drama. But also I was like, man, Sayo or Shannon, I guess / Sayo is like having somebody be attracted to like the side of her that she feels is like the closest to her physical body that she like wants the world to accept, but they won't accept, or something to that effect. I was like, she like when Sayo is canon, Sayo is like, I have to reject everybody who tries to talk to me. I'm just furniture, and I'm like the cool collected, like this is the figure with my body as it's actually viewed. And nobody likes that. And that's why she feels like she has to become the Shannon personality to be liked or whatever. Was how I was understanding it. But now she's hearing Jessica being like, I really like Canon. I'm like, oh no.
It gets worse. Don't you worry.
Shannon and Canon, like, if we view Canon as a piece of Sayo, then we have to view Shannon as a piece of Sayo.
Yes.
And it's only the two of them together that is Sayo.
Right.
Because you have the negative aspects of herself, the one that's Canon is just constantly self-deprecating, just hates everything. Self-deprecating to like even to Shannon, we're just furniture. You can't do this. You can't leave.
Which I felt was like representative of Sayo's actual feelings towards themselves. In a this is not healthy kind of way. And then Shannon's the more idealized, I will just put on a fake smile and live my life like this kind of way. Yeah.
Because like with Shannon, we see that she is like the not perfect servant, but pretty much, she's clumsy. But aside from that, she is like the perfect cute girl, kind of trad wife way. But that is still not the real Sayo because we have Canon.
Right.
So
now,
you're telling me the real reason that I hated Shannon and Canon throughout the manga was because I related to them too much.
Damn.
Andy,
this makes a lot more sense.
We've known all of this.
Shut the fuck up!
It was.
No!
Listen, the epitaph was obvious. We knew this for a while.
You saw this thing. I have the meme image again. I can send it again if you want.
So here's the problem, though. So the other problem involved with the Shannon Canon debacle is George and Jessica. Okay,
And
it's already an issue. Well, ignoring Battler for a second here, it's already an issue to be like, okay, I'm Shannon and I have a relationship with George and I love him, but I'm also Canon and I have a relationship with Jessica and I love them, I think. So that's already an issue. The other issue comes when she finds out she's actually related to them too, which completely, like, I forgot about that when we had the actual big reveal scenes about that kind of stuff. It did not register to me. I was like, oh, actually, wait, yeah, that is a problem, actually, because it's like, okay, maybe that would be when we were introduced to that whole, like, you are actually, like, the incest groomed love child of this other like mistress that he had or whatever. It's like, okay, that's fucked up, but that's like fucked up lore about like your birth, I guess. That's that's whatever, that shouldn't impact your life. Like, oh wait, you're actually related to all of the people you love.
Right. All of your love interests.
Literally, all of your love interests are related to you. And now I thought for a second, oh well, that'll be great if it turns out Battler is not actually an Ushiro. No, we know that he's still an Ushiromiya. Because it was just a question of who his mother was, not a question of who his father was. So Battler is still an Ushiromiya. So this is
I do love her like back and forth of like, well, maybe I could make it work. No, who am I kidding? I literally cannot make this work. Well, maybe they'd accept me. No, I literally cannot.
Bro, Sayo gets like, okay, here's Kenzo. You have to put on the dress, do like a little thing for him, and then he died. Oh, that's awkward. He died. Anyways,
Whoops.
here's the lore drop about you, and it's all horrifying. And I was like, wait, stop
And
talking!
this is-
Stop talking! Wait.
And as
I
we
was-
now see, like she is. They forced her not only in the dress, but in the wig.
Yep.
Probably contacts or something. Like
Yeah, probably makeup and everything. Yep.
makeup. Like it wasn't just put on this dress and go see Kenzo. It was be the doll that Kenzo wants.
Oh my
It doesn't
god.
matter if you're uncomfortable or not. So you do this for him.
And then she pulled a knife and killed Kenzo.
The man who
God, I wish.
the character who least deserves anything in
Bro.
the series.
I
I'm so conflicted.
and like all the servants are just like immediately like, okay, we had to have you do that. Now here's a horrible lore drop about you. Every sentence we're gonna say is gonna make it worse for you and worse for you and worse for you and worse for you. And Sayo's just like, I want to go back to not being an integral character.
Not knowing.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't the main character. God damn it.
But it was like doomed in so many. We already had the one layer of, oh, I have these two relationships going on. Well, that's an issue. Now it's okay. Now I have that, and we're related. Okay, that's even more of an issue. But that's a problem. I don't know what to do about that. But then Battler comes back, and it's like, well, shit, Joker moment time to kill everybody. I've had it, can't do this shit anymore. Nope, not doing it. Yeah, we had like all the backstory stuff for Sayo. Just it just did make me feel like I feel so bad for Sayo. I don't necessarily blame them for snapping and saying, oh, I guess I have to murder them all. I guess this is over. It's all fucked. But also,
It's all fucked.
This is awful.
it's one of those things where it's like, I feel bad for them. This entire family has ruined her life bit by bit in some way or another. I think they have like a whole thing where like, they're just bringing up all the awful shit people did. One of them was like, okay, Kraus and Natsuhi, like they knew about, like Natsuhi threw me off the thing to begin with. Kinzo set up everything horrible about my life to begin with. We had like where's the other ones? Rosa. There was a couple of them though that weren't connected to her backstory. Like it was just like Rosa's abused Maria. It's like, yeah, that's fucked, but also she didn't. That wasn't to you though. I didn't understand what that one was about. I think another one was
Rose's
like
existence is a sin.
what was
Alrighty.
Ava and Hideyoshi's was like they were bought off. I think I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like a couple of them were like, okay, but that where's that relate to you? But others were like, yes, okay, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Kenzo, how you doing, buddy?
Like a lot of this just added up to the breaking point for Sayo, who like I think it was something like all the servants too, like they were all complacent or is that what you would say? Like they were all
Yeah,
basically hiding the
Complicit.
stuff. Yeah, complicit.
Yeah.
Complicit.
Yeah.
They were like hiding all this from Sayo and also like allowed for all that to happen to Sayo's mother to begin with. That was a whole thing. And then, yeah. So, yeah, they don't, many of the Ushiromias, they deserve to die there. They did. But
Honestly, she's so real for like writing all that stuff out. I would too, bestie.
yeah, what was it? It was like explained to like, she just kept writing different iterations of the ideas for how she would kill them all. Was that how it was
Yeah.
explained? Like,
Yeah,
and
basically she was writing her own episodes at that point.
is
Yeah,
that
with the same picture the whole time.
and then those were all the message balls that she let out, and then the actual murder happened.
That's how I ended up in the psych ward.
And then the
Oh,
actual
boy.
murder she didn't even get to commit.
Yep. But all that gets revealed the whole time too. She's like, there was like these scenes where she's like struggling to herself internally, being like, what can I do to be with this person? Perhaps there's something I could do to be happy. And then like evil internal Beatrice would show up and be like, no, you're gonna be miserable your whole life. And like there's all these like panels where it's just crazy Beatrice evil face and then like crying Sayo face, and I'm like, man, damn, this shit's fucked. This shit's fucked, man. I just want Sayo to be happy. Man, why'd Battler have to show up that year? You weren't supposed to do that, Battler.
Look, alright, it's not his fault, okay? He's innocent in this.
You weren't supposed to do that, Battler.
Battler literally like didn't do anything. Sorry.
He made the promise. He made the promise and it didn't even write her a letter, okay?
Like, what,
that was the Joker moment. That was the Joker
had
moment.
The sin of being born Ushinomiya.
That's true.
So true. No, sorry guys, I'm a Battler apologist. I'm also a Sayo apologist. Trans rights and trans wrongs, you know?
Listen.
I love the complete change from Andy about Shannon / Canon / Sayo now. I love the complete change. Like the last time you were on here, you were like, I fucking hate Shannon. I'm tired of all this damsel in distress bullshit.
I said Shannon and I said Canon. Love Beatrice. Sayo is respectable. I stand by what I said about Shannon and Canon.
Wait, now I'm getting mixed results. What?
You understand Sayo is the damsel of distress you hated, right?
Nuh-uh.
Well, not quite.
Yes.
Okay, no, let's go back up because Shannon is a piece of Sayo.
But they're all Sayo.
That part of Sayo.
But it's a piece. It's just one aspect of her. You can't have Sayo
There's
without
layers.
Shannon and Canon.
But I'm allowed to hate Shannon and Can without hating Sayo.
This isn't
No,
like
you
this
can't
isn't.
hate both of them.
That's what I'm
Just
saying. This
Sayo.
isn't like Andy only hates Shannon but not Canon. No, Andy hates both of them. So
I hate both
No,
of them.
that doesn't make sense, Andy. No.
Why not?
Because no.
And that's like saying how like Steven Universe, okay? I can hate
Oh,
Ruby
God.
and I can hate Sapphire, but that doesn't mean I hate Guardian.
Anyway.
And here we go again about chat being mad that I'm referencing media I haven't watched.
About
you haven't watched. Okay, I'm not even gonna give. I can't even believe you.
Anyway.
Midstream, you do this to me. Okay. Anyways.
Anyway, I would say trans rights and trans wrongs for Sayo, but that would imply that she did anything wrong, so.
True.
I
Now,
made that joke, I'll play Skyler today.
now
I missed the last minute. What happened?
we had a whole bit. You
Sayo
had to
did
be there.
nothing wrong. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
that's the moral of the story. Now,
Sayo did things wrong. They
No.
were justified. They were justified. They were justified.
No, she didn't do anything wrong.
we have a very important panel that I have to show on stream right now. We have a very important panel. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna drag it onto the scene. Boom. Oh my god, it's too big. It's too big. It's too big.
Oh, this one.
Summertime rendering bros, we're so back.
God
Bird's
damn it,
eye world.
No.
Bird's eye view. Okay. Flip over the chessboard.
I said that
It
one
was the
too.
more people.
It's no good. No good at all. We're gonna be gathering all of the catchphrases from all the mystery series we read, okay? Okay games. But I do like the shot too, the quote aside, because it's like Sayotris. I think that's how Kei Natsumi referred to them as in like the afterwards Sayotris. I don't know if this is the actual name that people refer. I kept seeing Ari refer to them as Sayobito, but yeah.
No, and that Sayotris is fine, because, like, you know, we have Evatris
Yeah.
and stuff.
That's what I figured, yeah. So we had the whole Sayotris look and then like all the different fragments and all that. And I thought it was like, it's technically supposed to be a double page spread, but it's hard to see those on my Kindle. So I didn't get a picture of the double page spread, but it's like a very cool
What
shot.
we don't understand is that the fall also messed up her mer people parts too.
Oh, true. This is why. Yes. Without mer people scales, it cannot be. Anyways. Well, what else we got here? So all the Sayo stuff, and then eventually there's like a whole metaphorical thing about Lambda Delta promoting them into the witch Beatrice, and then we get to the
Yeah.
whole plotting the murder things.
the scene with Lambda is actually from Tsubasa. It's one of the little side stories in that, where you see it. Again, you don't see a sprite for her, but you see Lambda approach, who is described as a boy who is in the Fukuin house. You don't. It doesn't say that it's the Fukuin house, but it's the same background that is used for Sayo's room. And she talks to this person about being a witch and realizes that they have this super complex magic system and stuff. And she's like, "Okay, I'll consider you to be a witch. That'll be your gift." Because it's like the whole story is like a little witches giving wishes to others.
Yeah. All right, let's pause for a moment for me to read some of these messages we have in the chat. First of all, over in Twitch chat, thank you so much to Careless Fave for the follow, for helping us reach 700 followers over on Twitch. Holy shit. We technically hit 700 followers before, but it was a 9-year-old who I had to ban. So but now we're back. We're so back. So thank you so much for that, Careless Faye. And next over here on the YouTube chat, we got a lot of Minmod, and then one from Miko Hoshi. Is that your alt account, Miko? All right,
No.
let's see here. Let's see here.
That's me, Miko. They're in the chat.
These are all from Minmod until I say otherwise. The fight scenes were just a metaphor, smiley face, just like Fight Club. Oh boy. Quote, I never stopped thinking, therefore I am, unquote. I'm watching one friend playing episode 7 on Twitch and listening to you guys reacting to manga episode 8. I'm Uminekoing out, bros. The Battler / Erica game was about showcasing how weak the red truths are. The door is locked, but there's no ceiling, etc. LOL. There's only really one kind of undeniable red truth. Ryukishi's comments about the extra parts in episode 8, quote, with the manga version of Umineko, however, we considered the work to be a period to the sentence, that is the world of Umineko, unquote. Because of this, when I met with Natsumi sensei, oh, this is continuing the quote, I'm assuming. Because of this, when I met with Natsumi sensei, I asked her to show all the secrets in a way that can easily be understood by anyone. Thus, everything that appeared in episode 8 manga is the official answer to the world of Umineko. By no means is the manga version an individual interpretation. It is an official answer from me, Ryukishi07, unquote. I was super frustrated with them trying... This is Minmon again. I was super frustrated with them trying to keep the truth from Anjay, but Umineko is all about maximizing the, quote, benefits of delusion, unquote, as a theme. Can Anjay survive learning the truth? Could Sayo? Is truth more important than life? Is truth more important than life? It's hard for me to think otherwise. I'm so truth and logic pilled, but that's why Umineko is so challenging, lol. Quote, to play witch's advocate, unquote, because I think somebody said to play devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, yeah.
More about Anjay. She's very strongly characterized as the, quote, lost generation, unquote. There is, IMO, some strong political themes in Umineko. Imagine some wayward youth desperate to return to tradition. They constantly live and want to return to the past, which was full of evil, brutality, and outright fascism. And the weight of such history might be too heavy of a burden for a generation to bear. The Ushiromiya's, Kinzo especially, the island itself can be a symbol of imperial Japan, etc. How can Japan move on from its history and survive? Maybe it's by rendering it as a golden land, ... An alt reading of Umineko could be a horror, delusion and gaslighting brainwashed the hero, but that's just the Anjay Ryukishi is putting to 11. In his other stories, he goes the opposite direction. Quote, is Featherine Ryukishi, unquote. I think every character is Ryukishi, lol. Featherine is, I think, his
Including Kinzo?
megalomaniacal author identity ego that every artist has, lol. That's an interesting way to say it. You can't really survive as an artist if you don't have some small part of you going, I'm so based. I'm assuming that's what you meant to type because it says Zazed, Z-A-S-E-D. I'm assuming that means based. I'm so based. And this one is from Miko Hoshi. Hormones was the cause of canon. Canon manifests 3 years before, when Yasu was 16 years old. I'm trying to see if I'm processing what this means correctly. I don't know what this means. Canon manifest 3 years before when Yasu was 16. Oh, 3 years before the murders happened. Is this what we're referring to here?
Yeah.
Okay. Minmod, this is the last message. Minmod, quote, maybe I can make this work, quote, no, I'm so fucking doomed, it's over, quote, no, maybe we're back, quote, wrong, is basically Umineko, Battler, Beatrice, Erica, logic battles, lol, internal conflict coded. Wow. All right, so that's all the messages we got from there. Thanks so much for all your messages. They've all been received. Thank you. So, we get to little bits about the more answers to how Sayo planned to do some of the locked room mysteries that they were potentially going to set up. They had all these ideas, wrote them all down, explained like, oh, when I do the locked room, the cycle of like locked rooms with the different keys, it's going to be like a closed loop thing. It's going to be sick. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like this, in case you didn't figure it out by now. It's going to be like, you do this and this and this, and then you pretend to die, and then you go into the next room, and then you pretend to die there too. And like most of her answers to things was just like, yeah, having the doctor there to just lie about dead bodies is like a huge help to most of my ideas. And I thought that was funny. It was like,
Hideyoshi may have not done no wrong. Sayo may have done no wrong. Nanjo did several things wrong.
Hey, Hideyoshi was bought off to help murder these people, okay? In a couple of these instances.
Nuh-uh.
And probably in the actual instance too. I don't know,
No.
but listen. Hideyoshi is not oh, you refuse my red truth? Okay, all right.
Humans can't use red truth. You're Battler Borg.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Listen.
Bella can use the red truth.
Listen, Erica was able to use the red truth despite, not being able to, being a human. And we know how Erica was able to do it. So, I'm just saying. We all know what I'm referring to, right? This is not a...
Yeah, she was a raging lesbian.
Is this true?
Is this true?
Is this true, Ari?
So.
Ari, is this true?
What did I hear? Lesbian? What?
Is Hideyoshi was a raging lesbian? Is this in red?
Sure.
Oh, okay,
Ari, what are
sweet.
you doing over there?
Writing fanfics. Willian fanfics, I understand.
Dude, Ari was cooking us so hard.
I'm
with
looking
their
at
William
the Tumblr
fanfics.
I'm sure that I can now post here.
Okay, so Sayo got things ready. It was just like, okay, so there's a couple things that I can typically do. Nanjo just lying about bodies helps a lot. Paying off all these greedy fucking Ushiromias also helps. Just making a little like card and saying that there's money on it, whether or not there is money on it, that will help a lot with these people. Just having the guns around will help a lot. I don't have to like give it to them. Just having them around.
I think she really underestimated how much the guns are the real motivator. Like the money, yeah, but the guns were really the thing, you know?
Wait, hold on. Going back to Nan's Bungo Stray Dogs theory. You tell me Bungo Stray Dogs was the Second Amendment the whole time.
True.
Yeah.
True. So that whole sequence happened, and then Anjay wakes up in the Gold Land, where everybody's there, and they have a whole moment. At first, Angie's like, "Stay the fuck away from me! You're all murderers! You're all demons! I hate all of you!" And then they have an emotional moment where Sayo / Beatrice is apologizing directly, saying that this is all my fault. And then it's one of those memes where it's like, no, it was actually my fault. Kinzo stepping up first. Rightly so,
let's be
Kinzo.
real, it was Kinzo's
Rightly so,
fault.
Kinzo.
It was
Motherfucker.
all, like they've all made mistakes, but it was Kinzo.
I feel like
Kinzo.
it was Kinzo for a lot of different reasons, but most notably, one was, all the fucked up shit to set up Sayo's circumstances. The other one was keeping the entire island rigged to a bomb that works through a clock. I think that's also a big issue here, because that was mostly how everybody was wiped out at the end. Regardless of how the other murders went, they were all getting wiped out on at midnight on October 5th by the bombs. Maybe we don't do that, Kinzo. I don't know. Wild idea. But
That's the method to his magic, not his madness.
so we have a whole chain of like, no, it's my fault. I apologize. No, I was also a part of it. Natsuki like stepping up, being like, Ava apologizing. Like everybody's kind of stepping up, and it's a whole big emotional like everybody apologized to Anjay moment. Or Anjay and Sai. Like everybody's just apologizing to like everybody, because here in the Golden Land, they don't have to worry about anything except for, forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. It's like
I would like to point out, Battler was gone. Battler was there for none of that. Where is this man?
I thought he was just outside the door.
I should have been there.
She's busy. I don't know.
He's got things to do.
So they gotta have.
Not be there for his sister. I'm kidding.
Oh wait, no, hold on, wait. I'm trying to remember, because I remember him and
after the fight with Lambda.
Okay, let me continue.
And he never came back.
I'm trying. I'm trying to recall here with this. They were outside the door, and they swapped positions. Let Cannon and Shannon inside, or outside to watch the door. And then they went inside, and then we got to Anjay waking up, and then I don't think Battler's there.
He's around.
But yeah, I mean, is it just like, I don't gotta apologize for shit? I didn't do nothing. Like,
I'm really struggling to remember this scene in the VN, because I thought it was Rudolph and Kitty A were there holding her, and then Battler and Beto were to the side. But for some reason, I really just don't remember what happened in this scene.
What had happened is that after the disagreement with Lambda, he went out to face the ships. Like, he wanted to be on the front lines for when the ships came to destroy the Golden Land. And then nobody, ever came to get him when Anjay showed up. So he just wasn't there.
He's busy.
They had
He's doing things.
That, they didn't just, grab her and she woke up. They've
just
been
appeared.
having to, they've had to, heal her, essentially. She's had to recollect her.
My point is that Battler was not there.
Yeah.
And I think he should have been.
I think Anjay is actually Battler, and that's what's happening here. I think that's the answer to everything.
Well, what's actually, I thought it was obvious, but clearly Battler had nothing to apologize for.
Yeah,
so he wasn't present.
Yeah. I didn't do shit.
I thought that was clear as day.
No, you're right.
He's like, I don't have to apologize to you, Anjay. I fucking died, Anjay. What do you want me to be sorry about?
I think that they should be apologizing. I think they should be apologizing to Battler as well. I think that they need to line up all of the cousins in front of them, Maria, George, Jessica, Battler, and Anjay, and apologize to them for being horrible people. George does need to apologize for being an incel.
Oh yeah, of course. That's
He's already apologized. Battler already forced him to apologize. Still one of the funniest things, I think.
First thing I do, make fun of George.
First thing I do, make some ginger non-conforming love demons. Second thing I do, George, get up there.
And that was pretty much where this week ended off, was the whole apology session, and then Anjay crying, like the whole speech about, just at the very end, even though, with the truth or whatever you choose, please just live, find your own happiness, you could still do it, and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, she's already in the Gold Land. I think the implication is that she's now dead too. So, but with Umineko, anything fucking goes. You could see everybody in the Golden Land, but then Ryukishi will do the twist and says, oh, actually that everything was just a movie theory that Chap came up with. That one's actually right. Like, Ryukishi could do that meme at any point in time. It was all just a film, and they were having arguments about the script and the director and the cast.
Just kind of wandered in.
At some point, somebody wanted it to be like a whole fantasy action thing, and other times they just wanted it to be like a strict murder mystery thing. There was a lot of arguments between the production cast of the filming of the movie that is Umineko. Ryukishi could do
all the gold.
Ryukishi could do whatever when it comes to that shit, because apparently we could do like this is the truth. unless, if you want it to be. But then also Uno reversed that like a week later. It's like, oh, actually, it actually was the truth the whole time. I
just want to make you suffer twice.
I just, in context, because like I remember last week I was so mad about that, and then this week I'm just like, Rikushi, you motherfucker, you can't.
He knows what he's doing.
But it's like, that's one of those bits where I'm like, did he know what he was doing, or did he write that in episode 7 and then said, actually, I don't know if I like that. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have written it like that. So then I will make it sound like, oh, it's if you want it to be, it's the truth if you want it to be. But then like after he had written that part of episode 8 was like, well, actually, I don't like that either. I want to go back to that as the answer, and then goes back to it. Like, it felt like that kind of thing to me. Which I don't know if that's what's actually happening, but in context of how it's presented in the end, it's just like, oh, Burn just wanted to pre-fuck with Anjay before fucking with her again later on, while also already fucking with her at the time. Burncast was just consistently always fucking with Anjay. I don't know why Anjay thinks that it's best to be on Burncastle's side ever, because all she does is just fuck with her, and it's not good.
Again, I have to say that I enjoyed the fact that it felt like Lambda and Burn like switched sides throughout the story.
I was gonna say, they did not go how I expected. I expected Lambda Delta to be completely in the role of what Burncastle is now, which is like the main villain. I expected that to have been what happened, because Burncastle, as the story started in like episode 2 or whatever, or like the end of episode 1, seemed like they were going to be like helping Battler get out of this loop, helping them like defeat Beatrice. And then it's just a whole thing where it's like, actually, Lambda Delta's on your side, kind of, not really, but kind of, for entertainment reasons, I guess, or tsundere reasons, I don't know. But and Burncastle's just like, I am evil and I have suffered for all these years because I'm a cat, and you will now suffer too. This is basically Burncastle's character, because I am a cat. Yeah. I am the cat of a hikikomori author, so you must all suffer now. I had a meme in my head at first once I saw the little Hachijo's apartment with the or house with Burncastle, like the little cat. I was like, what if Burncastle's the villain because they've eaten Hachijo's manuscripts sometimes, and
I support this, actually.
What if Hachijo really cooked on a manuscript, was ready to publish it, and then Burncastle ate it, and they were just like, oh no, I don't know what I wrote there. I'll never be able to recreate it. It's gonna take a miracle to recreate that script. And that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, that'd be funny. It's not gonna happen, but that would be funny.
that'd be a meme page.
Oh, that'd be a very funny like omake, like the bonus meme pages.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting, but it's also kind of had to happen this way, of seeing Burn in the role of a villain, at least towards the end, just as a like role reversal of Rika is one of the protagonists of Higurashi, and now she is a version of her is a villain here.
Yep.
It's not a 1-to-1 is the caveat I need to clarify, but like
sure.
She likes to reuse his OCs quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Look, that's why we make a really good character, I'm gonna tell you.
True.
So we had this week in general, we had the Anjay searching for the logical arguments with the one truth. We had the fantasy battles. We had the Hachijo backstory memes. Kind of. We had the you're the ugly goat demon redditor internet memes. We had the Sayo's life was ruined by literally all of the Ushiromiyas. So yeah, no doubt you murdered them all, or set up the tools for them all to be murdered, even if you didn't get to directly kill them. You came up with all these games, and because that was the meme, right? She didn't end up actually being able to kill any of them. It was just they killed each other, and then the bombs went off. That was what happened, right?
Yeah.
So
I found the One Piece pretty quickly.
Because she was even like pained when she was trying to write the different ideas, like for how to kill them. Every time she went to go write, I kill George, or kill Jessica. No, I can't do this one. I can't do it. I can't kill them. Like things like that. Like struggling with to go about some of these. But also just being like, well, I gotta kill them all now. Battler showed up. Everything's fucked. Fuck it. Kill them all. Gotta kill them all. So, and then we had the apology from Anjay, or apology from everybody to Anjay, and yeah.
Was Battler happening to show up on the family reunion where they solved the epitaph just sheer happenstance?
I had assumed that was like, my assumption was that once he showed up, Shannon or Sayo had like orchestrated it so that the siblings would solve the epitaph at that moment, like given them some kind of hint at some point, like the hint that Genji gave them, and then they solved the epitaph. I don't think it was like a coincidence that they happened to solve the epitaph on the same exact night she decided to murder them all. I'm pretty sure it was like another little bit that was like given to them to manipulate them, or like one of them was paid off and it was just the ones who had the crucial hint towards solving it. Something to that effect, because it's too many coincidences for that to happen if you suddenly decide to kill them all because Battler showed up.
Well, because like she explicitly, the letter that she gives to Maria is solve the epitaph or you will die.
Yeah.
So she goes out of her way to say, you should solve the epitaph.
There was...
It wasn't really a coincidence when you're telling them, go do this or you will die.
Yeah. I have a thing I wanted to bring up, and I want to bring up before I forget it, and I don't know if it was actually as important as I'm thinking it is. I think it was a hint towards one answer to something that I don't think was fully said to us, but it was a throwaway line about how Maria had fully memorized the like dinner letter she was supposed to read. And I was seeing that line, I was thinking like, why are we mentioning the fact that Maria had fully memorized it? And then I was thinking to myself, like, is that not what the letter said? Was that just the letter that shows up on the table later on? I was like, was that the answer for how that letter just showed up on the table later on that made Natsuki crazy? It was actually just the letter from the beginning. And it just never said that at first, and Maria just read a script that she had memorized beforehand. Ari, can you confirm what this means, or?
This is my first time reading Confession.
Oh
no.
Okay.
So I had seen screenshots and snippets of Confession before this, so I knew the general idea of it, but I had never actually read it because Confession of the Golden Witch is not in the visual novel.
Oh, okay.
It is.
So it's like a Fandis thing, or?
Do what?
Is it like a Fandis thing, like Tsubasa, or?
No, it is. It's not in the VN. It is just something that he added to the manga version.
Okay.
Don't think other like later editions of the VN had it either, because there's things like Umineko Saku. I don't think those had it. I think it's just manga only. Somebody else can correct me in the chat, but none of this about Sayo is in the VN because Sayo is just not in the VN. She is like the Sayo Yasuda is just not a character we see at all. We don't get to see these kind of thoughts for her. This is just something that he added in the manga to further shed light on her misfortune and to actually shed light on her in general.
Okay.
Sieg says, I believe it's because the letter has a few words too hard for a 9-year-old, so Maria basically had to practice to flawlessly read it.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
No, I feel like you would just change the words if you need a 9-year-old to know this script, as opposed to just memorizing them and reading.
This is a woman who has been making OCs since she was like 5 and has been writing murder plans.
I feel like
plans. She's gonna make her read the script.
I feel like as a like an intricate like murder mystery planner, I feel like the it would instantly come to you like, oh, maybe I should make the words easier for the 9-year-old I'm gonna have read it.
Okay,
I don't know.
I think the writer aspect of Sayo is
So I was about to say, from the perspective of, I definitely have not ever masterminded a series of murders. But if I had,
You have a confession to make.
Wild statements to make.
again,
The
I ended
artist.
up in the psych ward. If I had, it would be out of character for Beatrice, quote unquote, to dumb down her letters as the Golden Witch to give Maria the opportunity to read. Because from the perspective of the person orchestrating the murders, right, Sayo is getting Maria to basically play a part in these murders. But if you were to look back at it, like they're trying to convince, like Sayo's trying to convince them that the witch is real. Well, anybody could have picked up that letter, right? You didn't necessarily want to dumb it down so that only the 9-year-old, so that the 9-year-old could understand it. It would make more sense for Beatrice's character to write the letter as if anybody were to pick it up and read it, because you want it to be not through the character of Maria, but through the character of Beatrice.
Counterpoint: the 9-year-old can quote the Key of Solomon.
Okay,
I don't think this 9-year-old would actually have problems pronouncing some of the words in that letter. I don't think that was the issue.
Counterpoint, that's her hyperfixation, so of course she's gonna learn how to pronounce.
I was about to say, like, if she is that good at memorizing things, like fucking, like, passages from the Bible or whatever.
Okay, counterpoint: if the 9-year-old does not know how to pronounce a couple words, you would just teach her how to pronounce those couple words. She doesn't have to memorize by heart the whole. But this is saying that she memorized the whole thing by heart.
Yeah, because she loves Beatrice. Beatrice is also
because
her hyperfixation.
she went through it so many times of how to pronounce it.
But again,
how is this the thing that we're helped about?
Because I brought it up, like, I didn't know if it was supposed to be an answer towards, like, the other letter that showed up in that room later on in that episode. I didn't know if that was supposed to be the hint towards that. Because I'm thinking, like, why the fuck are we bringing up this detail, like, as a throwaway line? What's the point of that being just brought in there? Like,
think it is.
Are we just at a point where we have to be like, well, don't think about it, you'll get a headache? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, don't think about it, you'll get a headache.
Well, that's my interpretation of things. Okay, there's a Ryukushi little trick in there. All right, a little Kei Natsumi addition to the lore, official trick. That's my answer to things. All right. What else do we have here? A little witch's trick. Oh yeah, we have these like little rules that Sayo kept writing down too. What was it? Rule Z. Someone please stop me. I won't pray for absolute certainty. I want you to solve it so I won't put too much pressure on you. Winning by killing everyone or losing by having my mystery solved are both outcomes I desire. What were the other ones? It was like, I can't find them. It was like when she was trying to come up with like the different ways to do it. We have all this like really nice looking visuals as she's like struggling with all this kind of stuff internally, all the different roulette wheel symbolism, the chessboard symbolism, the like fragment symbolisms, everything about the Sayotris scene was just like amazing manga art with everything. I think like this week was just like, for me, this week was like peak when it comes to like the art, which is great because, you know, this is the climax. So I'm like, this is all amazing art this week is what I'm saying. It was like, and again, like I mentioned earlier, it's funny in context knowing none of these visuals are in the VN. We exclusively get these for the manga. I had also thought to myself while reading this week, I was like, man, Umineko would probably be cool as like a series of live action films. Or was this a thing that was ever done?
The stage show.
I know the stage show happened.
There was a Higurashi live action movie. I think there was 2, maybe? There's at least one.
Oh, I was like, there needs to be like 8 movies. There has to be a movie for each episode.
Definitely. I don't think there was ever one for Umineko though.
Okay. Here's what we do as the book club people. We gotta get the funds to start our own Umineko live action movies. We're gonna need 8 of them though. But hopefully, after the first one is successful, we can fund the other ones easily. Okay. All we gotta do is make a bajillion dollars for the first movie. We can get this done.
Or we just fly to Japan in February to go see episode 5 stage play.
Please.
But what
Field
about
trip.
episodes 1 to 4?
Field trip.
But what about episodes 1 to
You
4
can stream them at some point.
from our local video store?
No, well,
Yeah.
they have them on sale sometimes, but then other times they close the way. Well, they're not really for sale. You rent to watch them. The way they do it is interesting because but
Does the official way have English subs?
We know the story. We don't need subs.
Yeah, you definitely remember everything that happened specifically in episode 5, right? You know everything that happened in episode 5.
Veto. What else do you need?
Episode 5 was where Erica showed up, right? So
As long as the actors are appropriately costumed, I will recognize what's going on.
Oh yeah.
That's all I need.
Dude, this is the opposite show I played in Illustrious. I couldn't tell anyone apart.
what? How does no good at all? How's it said in Japanese? Is it zen zen dameda? Is that what he says? Or there you go. So when you hear that, you'll know. Oh, he said the line. He said it. He said it.
He said the line. He said the line. So what's a bird's eye view?
Woke. Wait, if you hear them say woke. Oh, okay.
Wait.
So, yeah.
Never mind. Sorry, I was gonna be like, oh, how'd the Call of Cthulhu campaign go? But that's tomorrow.
Oh, we're not ending up doing it tomorrow. It's because people aren't showing up, so we're probably gonna do it next week. But actually, I don't know about next week. But the Call of Cthulhu thing for the people listening, because I didn't update them last week with this stuff. Because we've been laughing about it in the book club chat. But for those of you watching the streams who were interested to know what's been going on with the Call of Cthulhu Umineko campaign that I've been running with my game night group in real life, so one of them got high, who was like the occult researcher. The other guy, who was like a physicist, just straight up started murdering a few of them.
As you do.
I tried to include a couple scenes from episode 1 for them to see and experience to like get the pieces together. And I had him specifically see Shannon and George going out to the Rose Garden to like have a little, the little proposal chat. He catches them, hears the whole thing happen, and immediately tries to blackmail George into giving him information on the epitaph, which he did not fucking know. And I tried making it clear to him he does not fucking know. And he pulls out his gun because he got a Glock, and his Glock survived the trip there due to dice reasons. So he pulled out his Glock, shot at George. George was dodging bullets at first, but eventually got shot in the chest. And
Yeah, but they're all 20.
and then Shannon was like about to run away, and then he just like he got like an extreme success, so he like headshot her in the back of the head as she tried to run away, and then he just executed George. So the two couples who just got engaged, well, he proposed at least, they were dead. And I tried, everybody in the group was like looking at me because they were all laughing at like what the fuck was happening. They were like, why the fuck is he just killing them? And then they were like, oh, what hand did she put the ring on? Did she put the ring on her hand? I'm like, yep, she put the ring on the left hand. And they're like, no. They're like, and the guy who killed them was like, yes, yeah. Several of them. So the guy who got high, the occult research dude, at the same time as that's happening, decided to stab himself in the foot, literally, because a couple of them were convinced that Maria was a conduit for Beatrice being on the island, and so they were assuming that they have to either kill Maria or do something about Maria or figure out more information from Maria. So they're talking to the 9-year-old in the cousin's room, and he's like, what do I, Maria's like, oh, Beatrice is real and can only be seen by people who truly believe in her. And the player looks at me and is like, okay, what can I do to show that I truly believe in Beatrice? And I'm like, I figure something out. And he picks up the epitaph. He looks at the epitaph paper that I printed out for them. He reads through it. He's like, head, no. Chest, no. Foot, sure. I stabbed myself in the foot with my giant occult knife. And I'm like, okay, you stab yourself with a knife. Battler is like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Jessica is screaming and running out of the room. Maria's cackling because she just says, fuck yeah, summon Beatrice or whatever.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And he did not realize until later You stabbed yourself in the foot. You have to take a shit ton of damage for that. What did you think would happen? Your foot is now unusable. What did you think would happen? Miraculously, Nanjo saved him, but his foot was not going to be usable.
Nanjo finally doing his job for once.
Everybody else was trying to do other shit, like pickpocketing people and doing some other shit. So eventually I was just like, okay, Beatrice just starts taking all of you away. You are all getting into weird supernatural shit and then dying, and then Beatrice takes you all away. I've gotten to explain to them the concept from Beatrice's perspective, where it's like, you are all trapped in a time loop here for my own entertainment. I was just torturing the Ushiromias, but you guys have all shown up, so I'm going to fuck with you guys too. Some of you guys are interesting. You're killing some of my pawns here. A little early, though. A little early. I'm supposed to be killing them. I like your enthusiasm, though, but that's kind of my job here. You're not getting your gun back, and you're not going to be high when you go back. I ended both of those fucking things, so they can try to figure things out. The same time, they were obsessed with the chapel. The moment I introduced the chapel and I read out to them the sign on the chapel, several of them were obsessed with the chapel. They're like, the answer's in here. It says it'll take a quadrillion to one chance to open it. And it was just they failed their lockpick rolls to try to lockpick their way in.
They did it they tried several times.
Yeah, they tried 4 times and with different people, and it didn't work. So they were like, fuck, we're gonna have to break into this shit. And so I'm expecting them to try to break in. Eventually I just said one of the keys that you guys found actually opens up the chapel. When they tried to use it on there, I was like, yeah, it works, it opens it up. And they're like, okay, we go inside. It looks like an empty chapel. Looks like it's never been used. It's clean. Looks like they don't fucking use it. I think the one detail I did do was at some point they saw a special golden Bible that's written specifically in Japanese. All the other ones are written in English, but this one's in Japanese.
The golden Bible,
which I had disappear when they did the loop, because I did a couple things with them slightly differently.
Recite the Bible in Japanese if no.
I did a couple things to kind of give them better hints towards the epitaph thing. So I've already established to them that everybody in the family and all the servants or whatever, they're pretty much taught English as their thing. One, because of Kinzo's Western influence, but two, the real reason is because of the epitaph solution hints are the fact that the epitaph is written specifically in Japanese, and that golden Bible is in Japanese. The hints being eventually that you have to do language bullshit, specifically the Taiwan bullshit, to figure things out. I have been able to give them the hint about Taiwan, because eventually they did figure out to ask people about Kinzo's hometown, and they did figure out to ask the one guy who kept saying, I've known Kinzo since we were kids growing up together. They finally figured out to ask the guy who said they grew up with Kinzo, to ask him about Kinzo's hometown. Wild concept, I know. They finally figured that one out after several weeks of being we've talked to everybody on this island, nobody knows shit. They've talked to 3 people, 4 people, one of which they focused on the 9-year-old. And they've talked to Battler, who's literally an NPC like them, basically. And then they talked to George, who they murdered, and Shannon, who they murdered. So
yeah, that's a 2 for 2. Talk to and didn't kill, talk to and did kill.
I did have the funny moment. I finally got to do the Kraus Moon tourism meme.
Hell yeah!
Because I had one of them try to talk to them, and eventually he said something you guys are all wealthy siblings or whatever. You should be able to do. And I had him be you notice that when you say they're not having money issues, or when you say that they're all wealthy, you see their faces get dark, they're hiding something. He's like, is something the matter? And eventually I have their conversation shift to Cross being no, my business ventures are going to thrive very soon. The future, son. The future, son, is moon tourism, I'll have you know. And he was just excuse me? Moon tourism. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to head out now. I'm going to go talk to somebody else. He was like, yeah, I'm not getting anything out of you.
I like to mention of the 4 people they talked to, it was all kids.
Yeah, it's just only the kid, not any of the adults. I think they talked to Kraus a little bit because he was the one who welcomed them in at first. Everybody else didn't trust them. Eventually, now they've started to discover the bodies from episode 1. So they finally discovered the bodies. I was able to keep up still the little trick that happened there to where they see the bodies, but they don't actually get to inspect the bodies. We have locked the bodies into the room, the little shed there, so they don't get to inspect the bodies to realize that Shannon is actually still alive. They don't get to do that. So that's a little, I was able to succeed in pulling off the main trick that is used for the rest of that episode. So
Is she still alive after being shot in the back of the head?
no, I told
Yeah.
you, I reset the loop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I reset. She's
Yeah, well,
fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's
Like,
fine.
I know she's struck, but damn.
Listen, it's a with her magic, okay? Her magic saved her from the
Without love,
Glock.
you cannot see the bullet wounds.
She was saved from the Glock. It's fine. Never forget
Yeah,
the
what
heart.
the fuck?
More like
Fuck
never
you,
forget the Glock. You gotta watch out for it. All right. But that's not related to this week's reading. But those were the updates for that, for anybody interested in that. I think we're pretty much all set with the stuff from this week, like all the major events. Is there any other thoughts or concerns about this stuff? Any theories that we have for how this is all going to end? Will this have a happy ending? Do we
No.
think? No? Do
Okay,
we
hold
think?
on. There's one thing I that wasn't mentioned. There was
Yep.
some like boat showing up on the shoreline or some shit. We didn't mention that.
No, we mentioned the boats. Yeah, we mentioned the boats coming to
the
shoot at the
fire
fucking
ships,
door,
yeah.
which they were like, oh, they're not firing it because they're waiting for reinforcements. They know they can't destroy it. No, they're just waiting for the party to get started. Down
It's
in
like
the book of
minute
the
I
holy
was
books.
missing.
Huh? Yeah, probably. Because we did mention that they showed up, but there's not much to say about them other than like, because we were
Okay.
talking about like the sea of nothingness that was like all the millions of goat redditors
Gotcha,
showing up,
gotcha.
and eventually they're like, there's nothing but like the platform and the door to the Golden Land, and then like the boats start showing up. It's like, holy fuck, we're fucked. What do we do here? It's okay. Battler's got this. He's figuring something out currently, probably, maybe, hopefully. Yeah. Who's gonna survive in the end? Who is Toya Hachijo? What the fuck? That is
It was
inappropriate.
Battler all along. That's who it was.
That is inappropriate, I'll have you know. I hope Toya Hachijo is actually Hideyoshi. I hope he survived. I hope he survived and he now thinks he's 18 years old.
No, better. It's Sakutaro. She was real. this time.
True. I'm actually like,
the other missing Ushinobi child.
I'm just like, I'm kind of bummed that, I don't know, Hideyoshi feels like such good. I don't care about the rest of them. The rest of them were absolute bastards. Hideyoshi seemed like such a genuinely like chill guy. Like even in terms of Ava and Hideyoshi and George's relationship as a family, it always felt like Ava was the overbearing one and Hideyoshi was just kind of like, hey babe, chill a little, you know, like
Not my healing
tone
magic.
it down.
No, his role was to stand by her and go, I support my bitch wife.
My bitch.
I love Hideyoshi so much. And unfortunately in my heart, he can do no wrong.
Uh-huh. Wow.
You guys are so mean to me.
We say nothing, and
I
you're like,
wasn't trying to be mean this time. Nine. I was doing my best. I was trying to stop my mean streak.
Not Shadow. Fuck. Shadow is actually Shadow's been very nice. Thank
So
you, Shadow.
I just want to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I've just received a reply from somebody. I don't know if they're like super upset or whatever on Blue Sky saying, bruh, change that image. You can't just spoil one of the biggest things without even having a spoiler tag. This is literally like the cover of one of the volumes. Well, not this one specifically, but Psyotris is literally the cover of one of the volumes. So like
Cope.
it's just like Shannon in the Beatrice outfit. With Umineko context, this could mean literally anything. Doesn't necessarily even literally mean that Shannon is Beatrice. I just want to say this as like a little thing real quick. I was concerned about that when I put this on there, but also I don't care. So
I
there's
think
that.
it would have been more spoilerish to do the roulette wheel one that I had originally wanted.
Well, so
Like that would have been way more blatant.
in my view too, the like one, so I don't even think the roulette one is an actual official like volume cover. That one was just an idea because Yeah, it's like a bonus colored page. But the one that was an actual volume cover is even more of a spoiler because it's literally like Sayo and then the two other Beatrices next to her. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so this is literally,
That one's on the nose.
but that is like the official cover of one of the volumes. So, you know, I like this one person may be upset at that. I can't tell if they're actually upset because they have a little crying emoji thing, but I don't know. But there you go. If you, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't feel bad about that because it's literally basically the cover of one of the volumes. So I blame Ryukishi. Or Kei Natsumi. Well, Ryukishi probably approved it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways.
I think it's
Blame the
fine.
misfortune of your birth.
Why
'Cause
didn't they put, why wasn't there a cover with like Battler in the Beto dress? What about Hideyoshi in the Beto dress? Like, come on, guys. Where are my options?
Are you saying you want Goda trees?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Hey, I said technically, if we go with the theory that Gap is Goda's drag persona, that does make Goda Beatrice in a way.
This is very interesting theories I got here.
Sorry, I'm never not gonna think that's funny.
No, I think it's funny too, though, is the problem. We got an agreement for once in 5 million years. This is what they call a miracle.
I like Umineko. I just have opinions.
Okay, we got a couple
I
more
wanna
messages
see.
from Minmod here. Sayo is only seen through the mirror cracks of other characters. Ava feeling her childhood trauma bubble up. Natsuki feeling shame at her failure to have children. Maria's magic and also rage. You're supposed to put all the pieces together and you'll eventually get Sayo, like puzzle pieces. Because I think we did actually fully here this week get the full name, Sayo Yasuda name drop, right? I think that was the... Yeah, so we finally got the full name drop here. So, there you go. Is there anything else? Any other memes?
We got the bonus panels, I think. Is that a thing?
Yeah, some of them were funny.
I thought the ones from last week were funnier.
Hold on, I screen capped a couple of them. I'm trying to find.
Because I think last week's was the one with the... Well, one of them was the one with the reveal of George's face. One of your blood relatives is inside this box. Guess which one? And then it's the George face doodle from the Halloween party. And I thought that one was funny.
This week we got a Beatrice's dental exam.
The dental exam was okay.
The dental exam was... I think I screen capped the dental exam one.
You
I
did.
found the ones
'cause you
I
had
did.
to have sent it.
Here it is. I found the ones I sent. Oh yeah, one of them was... you said literally me too. Here it is.
Minmod, I've been waiting to post that image here, and you get to post it first. I'm mad.
Oh wait, I'll see what we're referring to soon. Hold on.
I've been waiting.
Here we go. Mangaka before the deadline. Mangaka before the deadline. Ha ha ha. This will never end. Who came up with this annoying convoluted page layout? Oh yeah, it was me.
Do you know? Hold on. Did you send that in the book club or the spoiler zone?
The spoiler zone.
Because it's entirely possible that you sent that while I was working on a manga panel for a class.
Base.
Let me see.
Here's the... Oh, here is the... There we go. The dental exam one. Beato's dental exam. Now open up wide. All good top right. All good bottom right. All good bottom left. You've been a good brusher. Perfect marks. You get a gold star as like Shannon's crying.
I don't think you want the gold star.
Okay. You sent that at 1:08 p.m. my time. I was going into my figure drawing class to spend 3 hours inking by hand in fountain pen some manga panels that I have to have done by the end of the semester.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Umineko. The mysteries are extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the clues will go over a typical viewer's head. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Is this true? Will it go over my head?
No head?
All right,
Can I
what
send
else?
the Venn diagram yet?
What Venn diagram? What are we talking about?
Which Venn diagram?
Why is there ifunny.co watermark on this?
Because it's ifunny.co.
Year 1986. We have help. I'm a DJ. I resell vintage. I use they them. I'm looking for a sublet. I sell K.
Okay, what the fuck's a sublet?
No, I can't send the Venn diagram yet.
A sublet? Is that like
Here's
is that like
Here's a different Venn diagram.
is a sublet like an apartment? What is a sublet? I feel like a sublet is like some kind of housing thing, right? Am I dumb?
No, I can't. I can't.
Next volume.
Yeah.
What?
There's
They're talking about
meeting
something
that
else,
I've been
Shadow.
putting
A
on.
sublet is a subtenant to like a property.
Okay.
So that's what it is. They didn't feel like answering that, but yes, that's what a sublet is.
I actually don't know when that. I assume it'll be in the next ones.
Well, we only have one reading left. So,
Yeah,
I would
assume the
certainly
next one-
hope that I get to send this Venn diagram during the next meeting because
All I
I would
can
like
say
to
is
talk
it's not
about
in the
it.
VN, so.
Oh, it's
Jesus.
not in the VN?
Well, it's
But
not
it's
in.
the
It's not in
VN
the original.
Okay. It's in
That's one of
PlayStation
the.
one.
That's the console sprites.
Yeah.
All right, do we got anything else we need?
Anyway.
You got anything else we need to do?
Anyway.
Are we all set? Are we all set to wrap this up?
I think so. Sayo did nothing wrong.
Is this true? Is this true?
This is true.
Wow,
I said it
based.
in red.
Wow, based. Alrighty then. With that in mind, we are ready to go to finally wrap up tonight and then begin reading the end of
end.
Umineko When They Cry,
close.
the manga, which next Thursday will be Thanksgiving, so we will not be meeting on Thanksgiving. I don't think we will be able to meet Friday. If we do, I will let you guys know. Otherwise, plan for Saturday night, probably, maybe. Or did you say there was a problem with that, Andy? Nothing.
What about Saturday morning?
We're not doing book club in the morning. No. How about no? How about no?
Everyone disliked that.
Here's the thing. I can probably do Saturday night, but my cousins will be over. So
get
I
them to
don't
read all of
know.
Umineko no Mitori.
Wait.
Oh
hold
my
on.
god! Wait.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Ari.
Oh no.
Never mind.
Wait. Hold on. You tell me Battler, George, Marie, and Jessica are coming over?
Yeah.
Damn. And Beatrice?
Ari, the
Going to the cousin's room.
family, the family of the aunt that I told you the text about, that's who's going to be at my house on Saturday.
Rip.
I can't talk about Umineko around her. She's transphobic.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, without love, it cannot be seen, so they won't even acknowledge it.
Let's leave it.
True.
There is
True.
there is an interesting subset of people who really like Umineko, but do not see it as a trans narrative because they're transphobic. It's really
What do you mean?
interesting.
How? How? How do you do that? How do you pull that off?
There are ways. The human mind is.
Right.
But yeah, there are people out there, all types. That's all I can say.
Wow.
Wow. Anyway,
Wow.
Sayo did nothing wrong.
Okay, well, we will figure out all of that and more next week. Probably Saturday, maybe Friday, depending on how things are on my end. If everybody is able to meet up Friday night, that might be a potential idea. I will let you guys know if on my end that works. If not, hopefully Saturday. This will be how we will establish it for now. We will figure things out, though. So next week, though, we will not be meeting Thursday. So maybe Friday, but potentially Saturday. So at this point in time, expect Saturday, but maybe Friday. This is how we will approach next week, if you are listening to this. In case you were like, where the fuck is book club? We're going to be finishing it up, and then we're going to have a week of us voting for things, and then the stream for that week will be us playing Umineko Golden Fantasia. Oh boy.
I may skip that one.
Decide the winner.
You are a coward. You are a coward for skipping out on the fighting game. You are a coward.
It depends on how homework goes.
You are a coward. I must say this. Coward.
Then just watch us get our asses beat.
Yeah, don't worry. While the homework is going, I'll have you guys up in the background.
Wow. Why don't you be in here in the background? You ever think of that?
I had not thought of that.
Wow. Did you know this voice chat like still lets you join it even if you're not playing the fighting game? Did you know this?
No.
Well,
I mean,
now
no,
it doesn't. Now I'm locking it. Okay.
Now you're locking it.
Yeah. Only those who are true believers, okay, can enter this voice chat. Without love, it cannot be seen.
True.
You have to not hate Shannon, Cannon, Sayo, Beatrice, like all of them. All of them. You have to not hate. Otherwise, you're not allowed in. So.
Wait, hold on. It's occurred to me. If Naya's in here, then who's going to beat me and get the title of the certified Noru things?
Me. I'm going to get the title.
I'm sure you will, chap.
I don't know if you have realized this, but there is no quiz that is happening. We are throwing up hands. So therefore, I am allowed to compete.
How would you describe Umineko to someone who wants to start without spoiling it? Homestuck, but better.
You have never been Homestuck!
You can't, no, yeah, you can't do this. No, we're not doing this. You can't say Homestuck, but better. What do you mean?
What is your answer?
Most of the people that I would recommend to Umineko to have read Homestuck, so they would have that context.
Yeah, we know that's why you think that.
Anyway.
That's not how you answer things, Andy. Listen. This is not how you answer things. All right. The real answer to describing Umineko to get somebody interested is murder mystery of a witch trying to convince you of things and the author trying to ruin your life the entire time.
And you'll
like
love it.
there's a witch trying to convince you that murders can only be done by her, and then there's an author trying to convince you that the truth means nothing or everything. Also love. Figure it out. Good luck. This is Umineko.
I usually describe it very vaguely. One is like this will change your perception of how you read literature. Because it does for a lot of people, like the layers of the meta narrative and how Ryukishi relates to being a writer and the relationship between a writer and the readers does really shift how you can perceive future works. And also, like, just the without love, it cannot be seen. I say that, like, that is the core tenets of Umineko, and it explores that thought to the fullest. So yeah. I go very vague.
Well.
My narrative, taking that narrative studies class during Umineko has been
the
challenging.
Thing
oh my gosh. It's I think that's part of why, like, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Umineko. Obviously, number one, because of the identity issues. We don't need to talk about that. Umineko, reading Umineko as I've been taking a class that is literally about analyzing and understanding narrative from a theoretical point of view, has made the entire, like, everything that we've been reading after the start of the semester feel so much like being in high school English again. And it's like I'm reading Umineko for fun and I'm enjoying it, but the reason that I want so much to just, like, not think about it, to give up and just read it mindlessly, is because when I'm not here because I'm at school or I'm in class, I'm thinking so fucking much about how the reading that I'm doing for that class applies to Umineko. And I can just I can't talk about it because by the time I get to book club, because by the time that I get to book club, I forget everything that I'm going to say. Do you know how many times I've talked about Umineko in that class to that professor, to my coworkers, and talking about how it relates to that class? It's so much. You guys just get the little snippets that I think are relatable. You don't get any of my analysis.
You can write things down, Andy.
I'm going fucking crazy. I'm going crazy.
This is how you pitch Umineko to people. It will make you crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, great answer.
Anyways, we will see you all next week for the finale of our discussions on Umineko When They Cry, Episode 8, Twilight of the Golden Witch. Oh boy, I hope you all had a fun time. Make sure to comment, subscribe, like, all of the things. Follow on some platforms, subscribe on some platforms. If there's buttons you can click them. Click the buttons. Click all of them. Leave the thoughts. If you are interested in our discussions and you would like to see some of the memes we end up posting to each other and thoughts in the Discord chat, you can go there by going to discord.wolfborg.com, or if you just go to wolfborg.com, you can see the links to all of my stuff, and then you can check out our stuff from there. So if you are interested as well in our future series, the next series, because now that we're about to be finishing up Umineko next week, we got to start talking about the next series that we're going to be voting for. So we do have rules for the very next series that we're going to be doing, because this manga took us 5 months to do.
You're welcome.
So we are going to be demanding that the next series that we do be a short series, a much shorter series for at least the next one. We will go back to doing a long vote, but we might do a couple little shorter series for a bit. I think if I could find what I had written before, I think I had said something like 4 to 10 volumes or something like that, or maybe it was 6 to 10 volumes, but at most the series can be 10 volumes, but it can be as little as 4 volumes, I think. And there is no rules for what you suggest, but I would highly suggest something more lighthearted than all the other shit we've read, like Fire Punch and Umineko and Summertime. A little lighter. A little lighter would be nice. A little lighter would be very nice. I'm still trying to scroll up to see my message about the volume counts, because I wrote it down somewhere, right? Because I think
4 to 6.
Yeah, it was probably. I thought I changed it, not 4 to 6. I thought I expanded it. I'm probably gonna say it's probably something 4 to 10 volumes, between that range, because we don't want it to just be a one-shot week. So it's not something 2 volumes. It has to be something that we can at least meet up for 2 to 5 weeks to discuss. So something 4 to 10 volumes would probably be better for us. So we'll do it like that. So, if you're interested in getting involved with that process, and you have anything in mind that is short, you can leave a comment below, or you can join our Discord, leave your suggestions in there. If you want to get involved with the discussions of those, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, we will just read whatever gets the highest amount of votes and then go from there. But that'll be for us to do after discussions next week. So, stay safe, gamers. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And we will see you next time on Anime Book Club. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.